Good evening, everybody. It's me, David at Drinkswhisky, coming to you live for the Black Lodge. I hope you're all keeping really well on this balmy March evening here in the UK, down south. Wouldn't it be a Black Lodge welcome if I wasn't talking about the weather to start off with? Would it be? I hope everybody's keeping well. It's been a few weeks since the last one, well, a couple of weeks. There's been a lot of activities going on, a lot of whiskey chat, a lot of whiskey excitement, a lot of whiskey dread. So I figured, why not? Let's get on board and get into the usual shenanigans that we have on board here. Again, if you're catching up on this, apologies for the lack of, how can I put it, the lack of promotion of this stream. I just don't have the time. I'm juggling a lot at the moment, so it's getting it done. But to be fair, tonight I managed to get this stream set up, get the camera set up, get the lighting done, get my drams, get everything done in like 15 minutes. So I think that was pretty good going for once. And great to see people in the chat already. Really, really encouraging on my end, because obviously I'm terrible at getting you guys updated. First up, Petehead. Evening, Petehead. I assume you're back in your homeland after an exciting Scotland trip, so I can't wait to hear about all that in the chat. Seems that it was a fantastic festival. We'll chat about it a little bit later on. Here's we got Craig. Evening, Craig. Great to see you in. Fantastic. Donna Pass Whiskey. Evening. Welcome in, guys. Hope you're all keeping well. As usual, I've just got my little bits of a little bit of admin that I've got to set up before we get rocking and rolling. Got that there. Get my chat where I can see it. Perfect. That's there. Everything's coming through, hopefully loud and clear. Hope you're all keeping well. Would love to know what's in your glasses. I'm going to pour my first dram after we get into it, because there's a bit of chat and it's related to that. So I figured I'll hold off on the dram. This evening's beer of choice, we have went for Peroni Nastro Azzurro, which I'm reliably told on the can is brewed and canned in the EU. It doesn't say Italy. I'm going to presume Italy. It'd be a bit strange to take it elsewhere and then ship it over here. Cheers to you all. Hope you're keeping well. As usual, let me know what's in your glass this evening, kicking off as we dram along. Let's see, so we are on 22nd of March, Saturday 22nd of March, next week 29th. 28th is my birthday, next Friday. Turn the grand old age of 41. So life begins at 40, or whatever they said. I don't feel like it's stopped, to be fair. So I've got that to look forward to next week. Should be live on the Saturday night. We've got some bits and pieces planned on the Saturday day. It's my mother-in-law's birthday on the day after mine, and then we've obviously got Mother's Day the next day. So we'll have a wee Saturday Night Drams on Saturday evening. As we got in, let's check. Oh, done something to the stream there, haven't I? What have I done? Let's see. Try and change that a wee second. Sorry, guys. Let me try and... Oh, what's happened there? Let's see. Wouldn't it be fun in games with a wee bit of technical difficulties, would it? How have we managed to do that? Let's see. I think I'm going to just have to manually scale myself into a corner. Do that. Bring this up. That there. See, this is why the pros, Roy and such, they make it look seamless every time, don't they? A lot of jiggery pokery that goes on. There we go, we're back to normal. Don't know what happened there. Apologies, guys. Apologies. Let me get back to the chat. So as Petehead was saying, in the festival for me, there's a lot, just a weekend trip, but great fun, lots of familiar faces and great whiskies. Yes, I can't wait to hear all about it. I think a couple of guys I know from the Whiskey Club, they went along and said that they were absolutely blown away by what was brought to the tables. Nothing under counter type stuff. It was all just phenomenal whiskies, phenomenal people. I think a real enthusiast gathering. So what else can you ask for? Martin's just joined. Just started, mate. Just started. So we're just getting into the swing of things. Hence the technical difficulties there at the start. And we'll come on to about Croydon. That will be in the wee section where we're going to talk about some festivals and what's been going on and stuff as such. And you're currently on a Torrevig cast strength and only check 10 on a bit of an island kick then. Martinez, fantastic, great to see. Great to see. I'm kicking off with an island of sorts. Big old island. Evening Derek, great to have you in. Hope you're keeping well. As we were saying, so next week, there'll be a stream next week, 29th, 22nd. We're on day 22 of March Dram Madness. I've amazed myself that I've managed to keep it going. And it's been quite the undertaking, as you can imagine. And the video that went up today, was it today's? I think it was today's video, the Glenmorangie, and the scapegrace was very short and sweet. For obvious, like if you watch the video, you see why. I don't know what's happened. I think you get that. I've heard about it. That sometimes when the oxygen hits the liquid and it can go a bit weird. Whiskey. I've never had it happen in such a pronounced way so quick. So that video was like really short. Tomorrow's isn't so short. Next couple of days, and then we're into the quarterfinals, and then semis, and then final on the 31st. Which I was debating whether to do the final live, but instead I'm going to mix it up a wee bit for the quarters and the semis. I think that's the fairest way, and the final. There's a little, not shift, but I'm going to try and make it a wee bit, do it blind. Get my wife to help me out with that, because it's not as many to do. It's what, 8 whiskies in, well, yeah, 8 whiskies, 4 whiskies, 2 whiskies. Easily manageable. Can't mess that up. So we're going to be doing that for that. We'll upload a video of the Croydon Fest. I'm going to upload a Drams on the Run, including the Croydon Fest. I've had a bit of a, I don't know, you can get, when you're making stuff, you can get in your own head a wee bit. And it's definitely been something that's, the Drams on the Run stuff, I'm just not happy enough with what I'm making to put it out. I'm kind of my own worst enemy in that respect. So I left, I had a great time at it, and I'll talk all about it, but I left kind of kicking myself a wee bit and wishing I'd had another person there with me. Not that I want a cameraman as sorts, but it's really hard to engage with people face to face and try like within that, and at the same time then pull out a camera and put it in people's faces and stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of that. And it was a very last minute jaunt to Croydon. It was like day of, afternoon of, 2 hours before that I was like, I'm going to go. So it was a kind of bit higgledy-piggledy, but it will be, there'll be mentions of it, and there'll be some footage from it, from what I got. But yeah, the Drams on the Run stuff, I've got a couple on the go that I'm just going to merge into a Q1 Drams on the Run, to be honest, because I've not been out and about too much. Evening, Kevin. You've got a Kiln Embers blended Isla in the glass. Fantastic. Quite a few people on the old smoky tip this evening. So, as I said, 9 days to go, March Dram Madness. I appreciate all your support with it. Has it been a massive views, like, endeavour? No, I've not got tons of views on it. It's quite niche, I get it. And a lot of people don't really enjoy watching whiskey tasting videos. And I don't blame them. I can completely understand that. And I'm going to do an after March Dram Madness video. I'd started making a Black Lodge Ramblings the other night. And it just got a bit dark. Not dark, but just gloomy. And it wasn't the vibe I wanted to go in. I don't know, I think I was just tired. I'd finished videoing a couple of March Dram Madness. So I'm going to redo the Black Lodge Rambling. And that'll be out after we finish March Dram Madness and we have a win on stuff, and I'm going to talk all about that. We also have some news I've not had the time. I'm going to rejig the live stream and get some more wee snippets and better music and layout and stuff, because I'm kind of over this box shape. Plus the software I use is updated. Finally, I finally got some like features that other software has, so I can now use that. But one of the sections that I'm going to make a wee bit for will be news, whiskey news of what's happened this week in the chat, what people have been talking about. So I thought I'd kick off with, it was a bit scary news, and then it turned out it was just a lot of, well, it seemed to be a lot of wicked whispers. On the Isle of Isla, there was an explosion, a huge giant fireball explosion that was kept all under wraps, and it was all hush hush, and no one on the island was talking about it, at the Lafroig distillery. Also, it was communicated on many a Facebook and internet group, whiskey group. Thankfully, that seems to be not the case. Everything seems to be okay, so I'm led to believe by doing a bit of digging and asking. Yes, there was a fire of sorts, but nothing too bad. There's rumours that they're obviously halting or pulling back production, so could it be timing of that and stuff? Maybe the people are taking advantage of it and saying, oh, this is what's happening. Who knows? I think as the week progresses next week, we'll find out a little bit more, but I think quite a few people were kind of shocked and thought, oh God, what's happening up there? But from what I'm led to believe, and they did send out an email about it as well, is it fake news? Is it not? Who knows? But I'm going to take them in good faith and say, based on the people that have commented on groups and that who are up there, that it was a bit of a storm in a teacup, so to speak. Yes, there was an unfortunate accident, no one was hurt, and they'll get on with it. We've just seen it happen, the madness down here in London with Heathrow, and how somewhat a user error, an electrician, technician buggered up and shut down all of Heathrow. So these things happen. It doesn't always have to be the big bad or the big conspiracy theory. We'll see what happens there. Then we had Diageo announce that they were halting production, but they were halting production in Kentucky at Bullet. They're halting production for 3 months to achieve their production goals for the year. So I think what they're saying is they're realigning. We've already seen it with Brown-Forman doing it, American company, and then that impacting over here with Glenglassie and Glenglassie, however you pronounce it, them closing down or halting production for a certain period of time. And then we had the announcement last week as well, Middleton in Cork, 3 months, no production, which was a big shock. That's a big shock, and I wonder if that part of that's in part like kind of maybe pulling back because they're scared about what's happening in America with the tariffs. I don't know. Again, it's all speculative. It could be they're trying to get ahead of themselves, because that's huge for Irish whiskey, America, but Ireland's part of the EU. So if there's EU tariffs put on the exports even further, then it's really, really going to impact them. So I don't know if maybe they're kind of holding back because they're like, we're not going to be getting as much shipped out. Let's clear our backlog. And on that note, that's what I'm going to pour as my first dram this evening. I'm going to pour a wee one of these Middleton Very Rare. Obviously, deed out of the tournament. Lovely whiskey. Just, it was up against an absolute baller, so overwhelmed it. But as a starter dram, I thought, well, I can't go wrong with 40% Middleton Very Rare. Just ease in to the evening. Complements the beer well as well. Slanger. It's a tough dram in that it's good. Is it €200, £180 good? No, it's not. Not in my opinion anyway. Just sweet, lovely, light. It's single grain and single, it's malt. It's a blend. They've done some job of punting it though. Like, 41 this year. It's on. Same age as me. I've just clocked the glass I'm using. Oh, you won't be able to see. Let's see. Can you see? It's the pot still. 40th anniversary. There we go. Everything's 40 at the moment. So chat, I would love to hear what are your thoughts on the current state of these distilleries and with their not mothballing, but they're scaling back in production, turning off stuff for a couple of months, few months. We're seeing it happening with the big ones. Are you aware of any of the smaller ones that it's been happening to? I've been surprised that there's still quite a few motoring on. We've spoken about it before. Smaller distilleries motoring on, doing big grand plans of new distilleries and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's... Do we see liquidity in the market to be able to pull that off? I don't know. I think I'm still shocked that there's more of them haven't announced scaling back production. I know it's tough. It is tough. In other news, we had Old Glenmorangie changed the Lysanta from 12, which makes sense because they changed the 10 to 12, didn't they? So it was kind of a bit of an outlier there. They've changed the Lysanta from 12 to 15-year-old. Doesn't seem to have had a price hike. So that's quite good. But now it explains why a lot of Lysanta was getting sold off quite cheap the last couple of months. I've seen quite a few deals for it. Never picked any up. The one I was kicking myself not doing is I never picked up the Quinta Rubin. When I mentioned it on the stream the other week, it was at 40 quid. All day, buying it at 40 quid. Absolutely. We also then, we've seen that. Glenmorangie, they've pushed that. Little alignment. I've seen the Glendronach series? There's a new Glendronach series out. Really elegant labels and stuff like that. But they've went a bit quiet as well, and I don't know if that's a consequence of the Brown-Forman scaling back and what's going on there. It seems to be a bit of an odd time. Highland Park obviously have done the rebrand. I know the Dramface guys were talking about that. And it's kind of split opinions. I'm on the side of I think it's a really good rebrand. I can see why they've done it. But prices, just everybody's prices are just mental. Then you've got Macallan, they've got the fully weight. I don't know if the ballot announcements have been done, but they've flooded auctions left, right and centre. It's just been all over the place, and I feel like I end up having this conversation all the time, and it's not. I think it's just because we're searching for answers, and we're hoping there'll be answers, and we're hoping that people are going to come, and that you're not going to get these answers at festivals most of the time. Maybe it's smaller, intimate tastings, or if you know people in the industry, but the general populace, I don't know if we're a bit saturated. So I know I'll cover this ground a lot, but I don't mean to. Peterhead, current state, not really a surprise. Last year, everyone seemed to be jumping on the wagon. Price kept increasing. It was a matter of waiting for some sort of halt. Yeah, I think that is the case. I think market correction. The market normally kind of finds itself and susses it out. It's more a case of how's everybody in the industry feeling on their side, because we're in a situation now, aren't we, where it's tough. It's tough out there. Like, money's tight for a lot of people. Job security is not great for a lot of people. These tariffs are just putting the fear up everybody. Like, the UK government isn't helping itself with what it's doing to whiskey and taxation on top of that. The shops aren't seeing the footfall that they used to see. The tourism, I think that's going to be the interesting one, because the dollar's weakened. I've seen that. The dollar's at 130 to the pound at the moment. And the reason I mention that, and that'll be the same against the euro, the reason I mention that is because Scotland, that whiskey industry, when you go up north and you go to the Highlands and that, the Spirit of Speyside's a prime example. It's priced for tourists. It's not priced for us. Some of the pricing is disgusting. and it's priced at like the Americans coming over and doing the heritage trip, or they just want to come to Scotland and see castles and stuff like that. So I think that's a wee bit of a worry there. So how the doom and gloom. So I'm hopeful that maybe as we're coming out of winter now, next week the clocks spring forward and we all get a bit more light and everybody feels a lot better. Hopefully the doom and gloom will disappear. Hamish, great to have you in. Welcome. As usual, let us know what's in the glass this evening for you. Honestly, the Middleton in the glass is fantastic. It's so vanilla and creamy. It's almost like an ice cream, you know, like a Mr. Whippy ice cream in the glass. And then the palate's just so the nose just catfishes you. It's a catfish completely, and it just I feel like I made a terrible mistake starting this evening with that, you know, but it was topical. It was topical, and it was in the news. I'm just going to post this quickly. Everybody smile. I look in pain there. Just posting this for anyone that's maybe on the Instagram and doesn't know that we're currently live, because I'm terrible at that. I'm terrible at promoting myself, so I'm just going to quickly see if I can I find it. Does it come up on here? No, I'm going to have to go into here. Please, guys, chat amongst yourselves as I do really unprofessional things such as this. Let me just do that. Share. Copy link. It's a full time. Honestly, no wonder. Like, the other guys that do this bigger than me, and they make it look seamless, and it's so admirable. Honestly, it's a lot of this stuff's like a two-man job. There we go. There we go. Put that over my face. Nobody needs to see that. And his music, we're going to go for a wee bit of, I don't know, Prince Party Man. Why not? There we go, done. Done. Maybe we'll see. See who else joins. Apologies, guys. Apologies. Martins, people won't buy as much whiskey as last 5 years. Prices must also drop down. Yeah, they won't. They just won't. I've not even looked at an auction site in the last couple of months for myself to buy. Normally I have a wee look, but just not happening. Did I buy the Middleton? No, thankfully. Thankfully not. It's one of those gifting bottles, isn't it? It's a gift bottle that the older ones, the older Middletons and the wooden boxes, fantastic. And I collect them and I love those. And then they've brought in these paper boxes. And the paper box that mine came in is all ripped away. Not great. Not great at all. Greg. Been a misery guts about this since pre-COVID. It's obviously there was too many new distilleries open up with too little distinction. Was told on many occasions to sit down. Yeah, I know. I don't think you were being. I think you were being the canary in the coal mine. To be fair, there, Greg. I think there's been new distilleries open up, and when they've got a USP, when they've got something going for them, and a good team behind them, and they've got the money to wait, and the time to wait, and the resource to wait, but also get out there, they'll sell. Like, I use Ardnamurchan as an example all the time. And I don't know if anybody follows them on Instagram or TikTok, but the Whiskey Amateur posted the other day on Instagram saying like the impact that good tasting can have on you, and how you kind of carry a little torch for good, like the reps, people, because people buy people. And he cited the Ardnamurchan tasting at Cut Your Wolf Loose in Brighton. I was just making him a fanboy for life. And I can say very similar. I went to an Ardnamurchan tasting at the old Milroy's. It's no longer called Milroy's. Who made that decision, I don't know. But the old Milroy's in Soho. and fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and I've sold. But I was already into the whiskey, but it just doubled down, and I think the people there and stuff are great. And I've had that with a few distilleries, where there's just a few brands in general where the people just sell it, and you just buy the people and you trust the people. And I think with all these new distilleries, unless you've got those people or you're willing to invest in those people and not cut back in hard times, they just, how are they shifting bottles? Who's buying them? You know? So I don't know. But I wouldn't call you a Missouri Guts at all, mate. At all. Adrian, welcome. Welcome. Good timing as well. I've just been mentioning Adelphi. Oh, let me pull this up. Oh, Hamish. Just in from doing a test for a high-end stag weekend near Glenord. Give them an old Glenmoran G10. Tom Sproul's 22-year-old Highland. Having a cast strength and very limited Rassy. Were they whiskey drinkers, or was it just a spenny stag weekend? Because stellar drams, stellar, and I'm assuming you started with that Glenmore 10, because we were talking about that the other week, weren't we? That it's just a great starter dram. I nearly started tonight with it, and I wish I had, but it just means everything else from here on in is going to taste better for me. Arnold, let's get it. Always. Let me see what else we got. I've killed that far quicker than I wanted to, but I had no choice because I just wasn't really enjoying it. I didn't want to pour it away, but just wasn't enjoying it. Now, Martin, is it Martinez or Martins or, apology, I'm butchering your name, but it's most Saturday evenings. It's most Saturday evenings. It is when I can. Life gets in the way, as we all know, but I do try most Saturdays. And if you miss one or you don't see me promoting at that, like this evening, I've just went live and I'm amazed that I have this many people. And for some people would say, oh, that's not a lot of people. Trust me, there's a lot of people on the grand scale of going live on the internet on a Saturday night with no promotion. So I'm always delighted that even one person shows up. But it is, so it's Matt. I've just seen the chat, Martin. Apologies, I'm reading phonetically. I'm just reading it as it is. So we try and go live, and I say I try and go live at least most Saturdays, every Saturday if I can, unless last week Croydon was on. I knew the Independent Spirit Festival was on. I know quite a few of the guys that joined the chat were going to be at that, and I just thought, no, I'm okay. Plus, I'd had a few drams. I'm not going live with a few drams already in me. That is just a recipe for disaster. And I've seen a few streams where that's happened, and no, fair play to anybody that can do it, but not for me. So most Saturdays, ideally, if you just if you follow me on Instagram at Drinkswhisky, I normally post on there, and that's what I go. I've just seen Mark. How you doing, Mark? And I saw this. I saw this 100 proof Cameron Bridge come up, and I wanted to know the same because it's really cheap for what it is. So if anybody knows about it, if anybody's tried it, please let us know. Also, let us know these signatory 100 proofs with like any under the radar ones. Let me just go back through the chat, make sure I've not missed anything. And Mark, sorry I missed your first initial evening. Let's see. Arnold. The broadcast. What was your Croydon Whiskey Festival best dram? Now, I'm going to just pull up my notes again, because again, I did manage to prep a little bit here. We'll come on to Croydon in a couple of minutes. Last thing I was going to say is, for any bourbon heads out there, Craig, talking to you. Buffalo Trace have just launched in the UK a Barrel Select program, which is really surprising, to be honest, that they now have enough that they can punt it to punters over here. And so what it is it's basically the same as any kind of buying a cask situation. You register through the Saturday Night website. Anybody can register, and then you can you'll get offered the opportunity to buy a cask. You can fly out of your own cost, own volition, and you can do the whole experience in Frankfurt in Kentucky at Buffalo Trace. It's only Buffalo Trace barrels at the moment. There's not any other type. I assume they kind of keep them back for the Americans. So no Eagle Rare, no Weller, but you have that. And you can basically you buy it, you pay for it, and then they sort all the bottling and all that, and it comes with your own label. Well, you get your Buffalo Trace, but you get your sticker on the side. I should have had one with me. There's one in there, like a select one. But basically, little sticker on the side, your own sticker, and I think it's 250 bottles out the barrel you get. It's not cheap, but it's not the worst I've seen. It's 45%. It'll be bottled at, so that's the standard American proof. We get it at 40%, so it's not like for like. So our Buffalo Trace goes anywhere between 18 to 25 quid a bottle, I would say, in supermarkets and stuff. 45% normally can be anywhere from 25 to 40 pound a bottle. This works out at, I think it's seven and a half grand for your barrel. So it's 250 bottles. Works out at, now that's me. That's 250 bottles. I don't know if that's 750 ml or that's 700. I never checked that, but that's a bit. It works out about 30 quid a bottle for your own bottle, your own barrel pick of Buffalo Trace. Granted, you get 250 bottles of it, so you'd need to be punting a hell of a lot of bottles or drinking a hell of a lot of it to get your maximum value out of it. But I think as an overall experience, the opportunity to go and pick your own barrel at Buffalo Trace, the experience itself is fantastic. I've been there. I want to go back. I've been itching to go back. The idea of being able to go and do that with a few mates or a group or a whiskey group and just come back, and then it gets shipped. They'll ship it to the UK for you, and then it's as simple as that. So it's all covered in the fee. It's one cost. So I was like, I'm interested in finding out more from a whiskey group, i.e. just in general. And I get an email the same night. That was in the afternoon saying, thanks for applying. Yeah, we've granted you permission. You can now contact us to buy the cask. And I'm like, whoa, no. And then I got a customer agent, like account manager assigned, and she's like, hi David, lovely to meet you, blah blah blah, let me know that. And I'm like, there's been a terrible mistake here, because I've just signed up to find out about it. So the opportunity's there if we all want to go to Kentucky and pick a barrel. I wouldn't say no. And we can make it a Drinkswhisky Buffalo Trace pick, which would be insane. They're absolutely mental, but the whole concept's mental to me, that's now available. And they've said to people, if you don't want to go to Kentucky, we can do the experience in London, and you can do your picks. We'll ship over barrel picks and you pick it that way. Because you're only going to be selecting from some barrels anyway. You're not going to walk through the entire warehouse and be like, I want to try that one and that one and that one. But it is what it is. But good, like, I thought some of yous on here, I bore it, and some of yous love it, and I thought I'd let yous know in case yous have got deep pockets and you fancy buying a couple of barrels of bourbon, or just the one as a drinker, put your own straw in it. So sorry Arnold, that doesn't answer that question at all. So I want to go back to Adrian's comment about the new release this week. The Mezcal cask, the Ardnamurchan Mezcal cask, I believe it's 100% peated, isn't it, Adrian? I've heard good stuff. Personally, there's a couple of brand, like, no brands, a couple of cask types that I'm never too sure about. One is rum cask, because I think it needs a certain type of spirit to hold up against, otherwise it just becomes rum. And I'm looking at you, Springbank, behind me on the shelf. The festival bottles last year. And which doesn't mean it should have held up, but it just was just rum. Just rum. And mezcal's another one. Like the mezcal tequila cask, it needs a certain type of spirit for me. But when I found out it was peated, Ardnamurchan 100% peated going in, I was like, right, okay, aye, you've got my attention now. Because if there's a spirit that can stand up to it, I think it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. Now, I could be wrong. It might not be peated. I'm just going off what I heard. But do correct me if I'm wrong. Talk about the signatories. Mark, Glenord, 100 proof. Glenord's a great distillery, isn't it? It's just one of those ones. Craig, signatory, the fortified wine series, yeah. They're other ones, wine casks. Bit hit or miss. Bit hit or miss for me. So I've kept an eye. They're the purple labels, aren't they? The signatories. So keep an eye on that. The Ben Nevis was good. I heard the Ben Nevis was good. I think that was 5 years old? I think Alan, the whiskey friend, he reviewed it. His review was kind of made me go, oh, right, I need to pay attention to this. Glen Talker's 100 proof, and then Craig just backing you right up there off the bat. 100% proof is beautiful. Yeah, everybody, Glen Talker's. Is that long gone? Is there any point in me even seeing if that's about? Is the bourbon experience cheaper than the whiskey one? No, I would say you can buy a whiskey cask a lot cheaper than $7.5 grand. A lot cheaper. You're talking about like you can buy new make Ardmore cask for about 1,800, $2 grand. Which, okay, you've got to wait. You've got to wait this. Whereas this Buffalo Trace one is good to go and at a professional level. So you're going to buy it and you're going to get the bottle. Like, no different than a store pick or a bar pick that we get over here. Craig's enjoying the Old Forester 86 proof, 22 quid, Amazon. Giswell competition and old fashioned. Old Forester stuff's good. I like the Old Forester stuff. I think I had the 1924, the special one that came out that was like quite expensive versus the 1920. Let me check. Aye, the 1920 I love. I've got a bottle of that. 1924 I think was the more kind of exclusive release. I tried that when I was at the tasting place in Louisville, and I preferred the 20. So I kind of avoided that. But outside of that, the rest of them were all great. No, but I like wet liquid, to be fair. Like, so it's the bourbon stuff I got into last year, and it's just nice to, my palate just agrees with most things, to be fair. What's 100? Yeah, I saw those decanters. Yeah, the price point as well, Adrian. Like, there was quite a lot of them. And I was kind of thinking to myself, like, what's going on here? Because why are they so cheap? There was one the other week. I think it was a Dalyun. I saw in the whiskey exchange, and that was almost like a precursor to this wave that's kind of hit of them. Because there's been quite a lot of them came out at once. That I've not been keeping up with at all. I've not managed to keep abreast of it. And to be honest, if I had more money, if the Springbank hadn't landed when it did, and I managed to get a bottle of BTAC, I got a bottle of Handy, Thomas H. Handy at retail, but that kind of wiped me out this month from what I could afford to do. Otherwise, I would have picked up a couple of those signatory. All of this, everything is paid for by me. So it's not, I'm not in a fortunate position where you'll see me shelling out bottles on the Instagram and on the stream. But look, if people want to punt tons of bottles towards me from the brands, I'll try them. And I'll be fully disclosed. Don't worry about that. Speaking of which, that just jogged my memory. And now it's gone. Gone. Something I was going to say. That's it. We're coming back. I'm coming back to the original comment that was up, and that I totally went rogue on. Arnold. Croydon Whiskey Festival best drama. I'm going to talk about Croydon Whiskey Festival first off. Never been before. It always falls in March, and because my birthday's in March, and there's other people's birthdays in March, and the family and stuff, I've never been able to get the weekend away. And then last weekend, I was all set, and I was like, maybe, don't know, don't want to ask for the time. Got the little one to play with and stuff on the weekend, because she's at nursery 3 days a week, and then obviously I'm not working on the weekend, so I was, I would love to go, because I've not made any Drams on the Run content or anything like that for a while. And so I said to my wife, after I took the little one swimming, do you mind if I go? And she's like, no, go. And as I took the dog for a walk before I went, and as I bought my ticket, as I'm walking the dog, I then get sent a picture of my daughter, and she was coming down ill, and she basically had hand, foot, and mouth again, it seems. We didn't know. We thought she just got a fever, but it turned out it was hand, foot, and mouth. And I was like, oh God. And she's like, no, just go. So by the time I ended up leaving, I got to Croydon Whisky Festival half an hour after the doors opened for the second session. Off the bat, I'll say I would have preferred to go to the first session. And the reason I say that is, and this is no disrespect to anyone that works behind the stands at these things like that. It's not a slight on you guys. It's just nature. People were tired halfway through the second session. Like the people working, because they'd been there for like a good 5-6 hours and just dealing with a lot of people. And so the energy was different from what I'm used to at like an opening session, or like a day session where it's a long day but it's one and done. Whereas when you have that little dip, so that's my only negative, I would say. That's the only negative thing is, and that's on me. I would have preferred being at the first session, when it probably would have been a bit more hectic. But then on the flip side, a lot of people were very I don't know. The vibe was different. I don't know if people were maybe pre-gaming, so quite a few people were getting quite pissed, as happens. But there was a lot of like good whiskey enthusiasts there, and I met a couple of people who were in London whiskey clubs that I didn't know, but got chatting to, and a lot of lovely people. Good selection of whiskey. Like Cadenheads were there. That kind of surprised me. I was like, oh, brilliant. Ardnamurchan were there. We had Glasgow were there. Compass Box were there. I'm just kind of shooting out ones. Woven were there. Who else kind of springs to mind? Wireworks. And to be honest, I'd never had enough time to get around them all. So there was enough whiskey there that you could get around, but it was quite a tight hall and quite a tight space. So you kind of had to, even if you wanted to go, there was a couple I wanted to go to, and I just never get near. Bimber were there. I was going to go and try some Bimber, so I couldn't get near it, just the way things lined up. And then the final walk, like the first call at 7:30, I think it was, like last half hour, last pour in 15 minutes. Quite a lot of people, because of the tiredness, just went done, cleared their stand at 7:30. So in the end, I only had 3 hours of opportunity as opposed to 3.5 that I thought I'd have, as opposed to 4 if I'd been there on time. So I lost an hour. Is what it is. The filming element, because of the tightness and the space and whatever, if I'm honest, I never felt comfortable sticking cameras in people's faces. I tried, and I just wasn't into it. And because it was so loud and so tight, so that's why the drams on the run I'm not too happy with. I don't think it's going to be good enough for what to do. But so that's the broad overview. But staff were fantastic. Had a good bottle shop that cut your wolf loose from Brighton. They were running good selection of bottles. I never bought anything in the end, because there was stuff I wanted to try and I would have bought, and I just never got around to trying it, so I wasn't buying it blind. And for me, the location was great. It's called the Croydon Whisky Festival. It's not in Croydon. It's close to Croydon, but it's not in Croydon. It's next to a place called Norwood Junction, which for a lot of people, including a few people that I spoke to who were working at it, was perfect from like a commuting point of view for them. A lot of people were like, oh, it's 15 minutes away from where I live on the train. Just get the train here and back. So there was an element of that, so it was good. I just Ubered it. I wasn't going to, but because I was running late, and then I just wanted to get home afterwards. So Uber was away, and I think it cost me like 18 quid an Uber. No ideal, but the train would have took 3 times the time to go into London and then back out and all that. So it was easy. It was much easy. Standout drams. To answer Arnold's question, there was a couple. One, thankfully, I'm going to see if I've got the photo of it. And if it's not a photo, I'm going to have video of it for sure. So I either took video or photo of it. And that was from here. Let's see. Yes. It was from the Heart Cut. Now, I'll be honest, I was a bit cynical about the Heart Cut because they won the best independent bottler last year at the World Whiskey Awards, and I'd never heard of them and never seen a bottle. And they're based in London, so I was a little bit like, okay. It couldn't have been wrong. Couldn't have been further from the truth. So I think that's just the cynic in me. Lovely people. Real, as I said, people by people. Lovely people. The dram that I enjoyed the most, I'm going to try and use my phone for this. Terrible idea. Don't know if you can see that. It is an experimental malt from St. George's Spirit. St. George's Spirit, I believe, if I remember this rightly, they're in California, up, I think, San Fran way. They do a bottle of American single malt, and it's got like an but a Japanese style illustration of like an English St. George jousting or something. Like, it's a really distinct bottle that I'm sure you would have seen in whiskey shops. But I was talking to them and we were getting chatting, and I tried a couple of the stuff. I tried the Few Spirits, which is from Chicago, and then they gave me something else which I can't remember. I'm hoping I videoed that. And then they said, but I was talking away and I said, if you want to try something mad, try this. And so it was an experimental malt, because it's not I don't think it's technically a whiskey based on the time and what they did. The tasting notes, and I'm just reading it, says dried chamomile, candy floss, apricot jam, toasted brioche rolls, and it was mad. It was weird, mental, different, but really enjoyable. And by this point, this is at like 6:30, so this is an hour before the end, and I'm already a few drams deep, and I just waxed lyrically, and I was like, this is why I come to these shows. I want stuff like this. I want something that's going to challenge me and be completely different, and I've never had before, or maybe I've had something similar, and it just, I was like, really brilliant. So I really enjoyed that. Rewinding back, I went to the Woven stand, and I did say, am I okay to take a picture of this? And they said it's fine. And rather than I was trying to be picky, rather than try just stuff I know, they had this. Pastures New, right? And if you look in that bottom corner, not the Woven whiskey makers, but it's blended English whiskey. And I was like, hang on a minute, I don't think I've ever seen an English blend. Like, from multiple English distilleries. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I don't think I tried it. And so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't ask. I was like, yep, I'll try it. And I got a pour. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? Jammy. Super jammy. Like, red fruit, berries, explosive, delicious. And I was like, oh my god. That's due to come out in a couple of weeks. I think they said 45 quid, maybe. I'm 100% getting a bottle of it, and I'm going to do it for me or no for me, and you know the answer, because you've just seen me say that. But get the word out about that, because I just think, wow, fantastic, something really different, and something that we're not used to, and it'll have its cynics. It'll definitely have its cynics, like English blended whiskey. Come on, what are you doing? But outstanding. Just like really, really good. Wireworks, the darling of the English scene, to be fair, and for good reason. I tried, everybody's raving about the port cask that came out. I think I succumbed to hype. I think I expected something a lot more. I think if I'd tried it without knowing about it or hearing about it, I would have enjoyed it more. But on the flip side, it just didn't live up to what I was expecting. And I said that to them. I said, look, it's not as good. I just was expecting more. But the other stuff was great. But the core bourbon is just a delight. That core bourbon cask is just an absolute delight. And it embodies just like the best of what they can do. And a lot of people I know who have it love it. So I can't complain about having to have that. I'm going through my photos that I've done here, so I remember. I tried a 27-year-old blended Enigma from Cadenheads. That is a blend of Glenfiddich and Burnside. Not Burnside, Balvenie. But I believe it's a Glenfiddich with a teaspoon of the Balvenie, as opposed to the Burnside, which is Balvenie with a teaspoon of Glenfiddich. That was lovely. That was really, really nice. 51.8%, 27 years old. Like, it's not going to be bad. It's not going to be bad at all. And it didn't disappoint. I tried Bunnahabhain, 15-year-old Isla Cabernet Franc cask matured. Really nice. Again, not expecting this at Croydon. I didn't even really look into who was going to be showing up at Croydon. So I had that. Ardnamurchan, I tried the standard 10 release. And the reason I say the standard 10 release is when I was at the Whiskey Fringe, I tried and bought the Adelphi special single cask 10-year-old that they put out. And that was brilliant. So I just never got round to trying the 10 or buying the 10. So I tried that. It was just really good. It was good at Ardnamurchan. I tried the cask strength of 2024. Really good. Really good. The Madeira was alright. But I just came off a Cadenheads, and I don't know if my palate, because everything was like cask strength, maybe it was too soon to go there. Just saying, apologies. I've been talking non-stop, so I'm just catching up. I'm trying to catch up with the chat just now, guys. Apologies. Let me see. Decanters. Adrian is saying Craigellachie Madeira at 75 quid. Really hard, trying hard not to buy. Yeah, at that price, you know. How do you avoid that? And then Craig was saying that Peterhead Ardnahoe Bolsa is worth a punt. Got it for 50 quid. The whiskey shop apparently had a £10 voucher. Brilliant. Martins is saying, why is it so cheap? Mortlach, come on. I know. They're just sitting with so much stuff. Peterhead, you mentioned these very exposing tasting whiskies. I'm sure you'll enjoy a whole bottle. I'd enjoy a dram. Yeah, I'm not, the woven I would enjoy. I think the woven I would be able to dish out. So I wouldn't be because I think it's such a unique opportunity. So when I'm trying those things, I'm not too fussed about that. The experimental malt, would I want a bottle of it? Probably not. No, but that's what I'm saying. At these shows, I love trying these things because I'm not gonna just go out and buy the bottles. And a lot of my whiskey taste gets when I'm trying to do videos or tastings and I'm trying to look at what I've got. It's a lot of the same because you have what you like. So when I go to the whiskey shows, it's kind of like, it's no free because I've obviously bought a ticket, but it's an opportunity to go where I wouldn't normally go. And I think that's what, for me, the whiskey shows are about. It's not just going where you go. So like at the Ardnamurchan stand at the whiskey show in London, I could go there, I can go to the Woven stand and try and talk to the guys I know and try stuff that I already know is going to be really good. But I'd rather maybe, no disrespect to them in any way, I'd rather maybe go to something I've never. So like I went to Key One this year, which is a Korean whiskey. Because where am I going to try that? I'll go to Thompson Whiskey, the New Zealand Kiwi brand, which actually I'm wearing the bloody t-shirt he gave me a couple of years ago, and try their new stuff because I'm not going to just go and buy a bottle of it. So yeah, the Outspoken whiskies, could I manage a bottle of them? No, some of them absolutely not. And even some of the bottles I have, I'm like, this is going to be with me for a long time. But I think that's part of the fun of it. And on that note, like, I went to, after we did the heart cut, I tried Locklear. Locklear's latest cast strength. Super, it's like Ribena. If you're into that, you'd love it. Peathead, I think you would enjoy it at all. I had, as my final dram, the Fine Folk on the Artful Dodger stand gave me a 25-year-old clean leash. Can't argue with that. But before that, I went to the Spirit of Birmingham stand, which was fantastic. What a chat I had there with those guys. Brother and sister, what they're doing is really admirable. But not just admirable, but just like really ambitious, and it's working. The spirit is really good. Like the whiskey they're making it's not quite there yet, it's not old enough. But the new make, and then they've been doing some cask experiments, and their spirit stands strong. You know it's their spirit, if that makes sense. After a couple of tries, you go, okay, I see what you are now. They've been experimenting with the woods. I think they've experimented with some of the malts, the barley they've been using. Really exciting to see what comes from that. My first opportunity, but I know a few people that have been raving about them before, and yeah, just really good, really good. So if you get a chance at the whiskey, if you're at any whiskey shows and Spirit of Birmingham are there, take the time. I ended up standing there for I think 45 minutes. I was there. That was my chunk. Just talking away, going through everything, understanding what they were doing, trying the different stuff. Yeah, brilliant. So for that alone, price of admission was worth it. I think if anybody's going to I think it's at the Midlands Whiskey Show or the Birmingham Whiskey Show, and it was just really, really good, really good. Martins, do you think 2 hours 45 is enough? For me, no, I don't think it's never enough, to be honest. When I go to the London Whiskey Show on Saturday, and that's like a 6-hour shift, it's nowhere near enough. And I keep saying every year I need to get a weekend pass, and I don't do it. No, I wouldn't do the 2 sessions either. The only way I would do 2 sessions is purely for the video, for the channel. I would do the first session, I would just do content. I wouldn't drink. I'd just chat. And then I would video the second session, me drinking and trying stuff. But that's what I do at the whiskey show in London when I've done it. First year I tried and I just got tipsy and ran about at the ends, try to get footage because it's nerve-wracking getting your camera out. Second year I was like, no. I messaged ahead. I spoke to people and said, I'm going to come with these questions. Do you mind? Nope, not at all. Came, set up the tripod, spent an hour and a half, 2 hours of the 6 hours, just no drams, just doing the content, and then just kick back and enjoy myself. So I need to be, that's a balance, and this is what I mean about like maybe having someone else with me. When I did it that way that year, I had someone with me who was happy to help me. But we'd bought tickets and that. I don't get, it's no press tickets or anything either, so it's all about the value and the reward for what I do. So I need to just kind of balance that out. I've applied for press tickets for this this whiskey show, but for beginners, the whiskey show. I don't know what they're calling it. It's like an intro whiskey show, but I've not heard back, so we'll see. But it's just difficult. Craig, this is more being antisocial and geographic, but I'm still not up for a festival. I think I can completely understand that as well, mate. It can be really overwhelming, and especially if you go on your own, if you're not with a group of people. And the problem is, if you go with a group of people, you spend more time talking to them and drinking, and then you don't get anywhere near everything you want to do. And if you go on your own, you have to kind of push yourself out the comfort zone. That luckily, whiskey's a social lubricant, helps. You maybe have a bit of chat. I chatted to a couple of people around me, but not much at all. and spent more time talking to the makers or the reps behind it. But it also depends on the reps. Some people just aren't the people, and they're trying to punt the whiskey. Some can come across super salesy, but when you land with the right people who are into their whiskey, enjoy what they do, enjoy how they do it, you can spend a lot of time there. It's great, but it depends on the show. I think the festival and the setting and what it is and who you're going for. There's one next weekend in London. Just no interest in. I've seen the lineup. It's fine, and that's no disrespect to the people who are repping them and whatever, but it's just not worth my time and effort to go, and the cost for what it is. But maybe that'd be a festival that somebody would really enjoy because of who's there and whatever. It's all kind of just picking through it. But I know geography is a big part for it, Craig, for yourself. I would say like a great one. Glasgow's great. Glasgow tickets are due to go on sale in May, and I know like a lot of the Aquavitae crowd and stuff. Like Roy does a big turning it into a weekender event for his kind of community and stuff. Brilliant. This year, well, last year was my first year going, and I met a few of you guys, and it was brilliant. It was a great weekend, but it could be as sociable or anti-sociable as you wanted to make that. So I wouldn't say don't dismiss it off the bat completely. I think there'd be opportunities, mate, where you would really, really enjoy it. And I've literally seen Petehead say that to you. And the community, this online community and stuff, this is why I love doing this. This is part of what motivates me to do it, is to chat with you guys, because I really enjoy it. The opportunity to just talk whiskey with like-minded folk. Doesn't matter about anything else you don't have in common or you do have in common. This is the commonality. And especially after a few drams and you're in the bon accord, you're talking to everybody, because you're just like, oh, what you drinking, what you having? And it's great. It's great fun. Welcome in, Mike. Hope you're doing well. Let us know what's in your glass. I am just on that note. I'm going to pour another glass, and I'm going to go hard in terms of I'm jumping from low to high, but there's a reason for this. So I'm going to offend some people, but bear with me. I'm going to have this SMWS single malt American whiskey, the walk-in cigar humidor. I've not got a lot of it left. Let's see, I'm a bit there left. I've had this for about, I think I bought this 2.5 years ago. And the reason I'm pouring it tonight is it's to remember somebody that I wasn't particularly close with, but a colleague. I used to work in America at the summer camps. You're talking 20 years ago this summer I started. And that's when I met him, 20 years ago. And his name was Corey Rushing, and he's from Temple in Texas. And this is a Balcones. Texan single malt. And he was let's be polite, he was a big guy. But loved the kids, had a great relationship with them, was a basketball coach, and then through Facebook over the years, he was a coach and did all that. He went into hospital quite a while ago. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but it was like rehabilitation, and I thought maybe it was to do with size and help him. And sadly, a couple of days ago, it was just kind of popped up on Facebook. Someone that I used to work with said he's passed away. So same age, around about the same age as me, no age at all, you like to think. And so I just we dram, we pour for him, you know. So cheers, Corey. Hope you rest well, mate. Strong as well. 55.5%. Texas rum barrique, finished in a French oak barrique. Very, but almost rum-esque. On it, it's like stroll through a banana plantation before we enter a walk-in cigar humidor where we enjoy molasses, cookies, and roasted cinnamon almonds. Lovely dram. Kyle, jumping in the stream before dinner and after a birthday tour at Hillock Distillery out in the Hudson Valley. Full terroir focus, down to the individual. Fields a la water fodder. Kilkerran 12 on the go. Kilkerran's on its way this evening. I'm going to open one of those. Would you say that you got your value for the price of the ticket for the Croydon show? Arnold, I would for the, I would say, the experience in the chat. I think I could get the value out of the ticket drinking very quick. Like the Cadenheads, which was the first stand I went to, I had 3 different drams from them. Bottle-wise, whatever, that was probably, if you just do it on a measurement pour value, that was probably about 25 quid's worth. Then a couple of drams, Arden and Merkin, let's put that up to 40 quid I'm at. So take into account taxis and costs and stuff, it was a bit more expensive, but I think it was really, I enjoyed it. I think I would have enjoyed it more with 1 or 2 friends, whiskey friends, where we could have like bounced back and forward with what we were trying with the newer experimental stuff and things like that. I never got to go. I wanted to go to the cashier stand, didn't get near that. There was a Welsh whiskey stand that I wanted to try, didn't get time for that. The rare find, didn't get time for that. There was just quite a lot. So yes, I definitely didn't leave thinking that I never got my value. I left kicking myself, just thinking that I never got enough of what I wanted to get content wise. Mike, assume you are discussing. No, we're just actually lovely segue. And I've just seen Pete's comment where Pete Head's comment saying that he was in Leaf Nip. It was the same weekend, and I wanted to go to the independent one. Timing wise, I just couldn't justify it. I couldn't afford it, to be honest, because of the next day was also Celtic versus Rangers, and my family's in Glasgow, and flights. I couldn't get out of Glasgow. In the evening, I couldn't get up cheap, and then I would have to get the train from Edinburgh. And I knew that if I was in Edinburgh, in the time that the festival was finishing, would I make it home to Glasgow? So I couldn't go, sadly. I'm just going to put that chat down. But guys that were there, Petehead, and I know a few others were there. How was it? I heard it was fantastic. I'm really jealous. I've not watched the documentary yet. I will buy it and watch it. I heard it's great. Like the whole experience. I'm really jealous. Like some of the drams that I heard about and what you were getting, value for money. Oh, if I thought Croydon was value for money and I got what I needed, swimming in it. Oh, well, Mike, did you hear me say I'd tried the St George's experimental malt, which hails from your state, at the Croydon show? And it was definitely something very different. Definitely. Derek, I'm assuming you're talking about agreeing with just going to the show and meeting people, and I think it's the same as anything. The people make it. You know, people make anything. That's what you want to kind of enjoy. Just going through the chat, catching up. And Mike, you're going to be in Scotland next month, heading to Brora. Oh, fantastic! Have you paid the big bucks for the Brora tasting? That was very controversial when that launched. Very controversial. When you're up there, I assume you're going to hit Dornoch. You're going to do Tane and go to Glenmorangie, and I've got it as a topic. You're in at the right time. Let me see. What else we got? Yes, so Howdy Man got recommended your stream on Joe's stream from the Independent Joe channel. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for joining. Welcome to me rambling on in the Black Lodge about whiskey and topics, and the chat is fantastic, a really good bunch, so you're more than welcome against my odds to join us. Such a good dram. Oh, light just went off, but you can still see me, so it's fine. And yeah, that balcon is really interesting. It kind of came out the gates perfect when I first got it. It's obviously we're down to the dregs and time and whatever's catching up with it, but served its purpose this evening. Like, not doing the crazy expensive tour. This one is around 200. Which I'm doing. I'm staying at the Dunnet Castle Hotel and spend time at the bar there. Oh, you're in for an absolute treat. So, Mike, this leads me in perfectly while the guys in the chat can talk about the Independent Spirits Company and whatever. So, I always feel like I refer to these videos. My Kentucky trip videos, right? The tour. And I made a separate video all about Glens Creek Distillery, which is built in the skeleton structure, whatever, the old warehouse, bottling, whatever, of the Old Crow Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. And I'm just going to context for anybody that doesn't know. Before I went, we were going to Buffalo Trace in the morning, and then I went on Reddit and I looked up some stuff on YouTube. And I saw that people were saying, oh, where's good after Buffalo Trace, whatever, and people like Castle and Key. And then I saw a few comments, and one of them was like, I always get really upset that no one recommends going to Glens Creek when it's right next to Castle and Key. And then that started another thread of people like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, let me look up Glens Creek. And I think it was I want to say it's SLS Drinks or SLB Drinks, who are the father and son combo who do bourbon. And I found their content, and they were raving about it. Glens Creek. So I thought, right, why not? Something off the beaten track, which I like. I wanted to do something a bit different, away from the touristy, kind of full-on touristy vibe. And I looked up some pictures and I thought, that looks great, let's go there. Went on the website, bought 2 tasting tickets, and it offers you the opportunity to like leave comment. And I just said, is it okay? Do you mind if I film? I have a YouTube channel. If not, don't worry, I'm still coming. And David, the owner, master distiller, replied back a couple of days later. It was like, I found your channel, I found your videos. He found my first. If you go on the channel, you can find the videos I made 5 years ago, literally 5 years ago. When I'm trying to make videos, and I have the Hudson Rye. It's awful. My review just sums it up, and he says, "Don't worry, I've got much better American whiskey to give you." And so the video, there's a at the still video, which is kind of at the still. It's like why making whiskey the hard way, or making bourbon the hard way, and fantastic. He was so kind with his time, so generous, and he took us round the distillery, and it's so fascinating. Please go and watch it if you've not watched it. Not to big me up, just to what it's just fascinating. And he sat down with me, and he just gave me like I think it was like 40 minutes, just chat. Set the camera up, and we just chatted, and it was brilliant. So grateful. Well, David emailed me this week, and I've not went back to his email yet. I was meant to do it today, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. And I thought this is prime example of what I should ask the wider community. He wants to go to Scotland. He wants to come to Scotland. 2-week trip, he said. And he says, when I went out there, you'll see in the video, I took the whiskey show bottling the Thompson brothers did of Dornoch Distillery, whiskey show exclusive bottling. I took that unopened over to Kentucky, and I cracked it open in front of them and poured them, and then I gave them like a quarter bottle. Keep that, because I wanted to take. A, I wanted to open it with people that would appreciate it, and B, I just thought, this is Dornoch Distillery on just a slightly, maybe like a 8 times scale size, not huge, but very like hands-on, crafty. And so he said in his email, I want to go and I want to visit distilleries that are a bit like the one that the whiskey you brought. So me being me and my nature's planning and stuff like that, my career and stuff, for planning background, and so I've built out an itinerary where I've tried to keep American sensibilities in mind, which is American time and distance is different to European and UK time. And Mike will testify to this, I believe, where the idea of a 2.5 hour drive is a lot for people in the UK. But for Americans, it's like, no sweat. We can do that. I've seen Americans tour, like, come to London, drive to Scotland, do whiskey stuff, come back to London, go to Cornwall, come back, and then go to Ireland, come back and leave in a week. And I'm like, how have you done that? So he wants to. So I'm trying to build a tour, and I was like, well, if you come over, in my head, the sensible way of doing this would be flying from the US into Heathrow, and then same day, don't leave the airport, just go direct to Inverness. And Hamish might be good at this as well, because I'm sure he deals with people like this. Get direct to Inverness, and then hire a car, or get transfer, but probably hire a car, and go straight to Dornoch. And start in Dornoch, because that's probably going to be the most remote of anywhere that you'll go. Do 2 nights in Dornoch, because you're going to be jet lagged and whatever, and then come out of Dornoch, come down. You've obviously got Glenmorangie and Balblair and stuff there, but maybe depending on your route, but then basically cut across and get to Glenmurray. Because for me, the value of Glenmurray, the casks that you can pour on stuff, you can get a good bottle, not rip the arse price. And then from Glenmurray, just go down and stay at the Highlander for a couple of days. And use that as your base to do whatever the hell you want in Speyside. Because you can go to the Cooperage, you can go to Macallan, you can go up the road to Ballindock, or you can go to bloody Glenallachie or whatever you want. The problem is Scotch scene is so regulated that it's tough to go, right, well, I'll find you craft things. So I'm going to push that back to him. And then I thought from there, that's the tricky part from there, because it's a drive. So then I looked at Ardnamurchan, but it's a hell of a drive from there. So I thought maybe go to Fort William, stay a night in Fort William, or Oban. Maybe go to Oban, stay in Oban for the night. Just think somewhere you're on holiday. And then from there, drive down to Campbelltown. Do Campbelltown, come up, get the ferry over to Islay, ferry back, drive to Glasgow, and then do a night or 2 in Glasgow or whatever, and then down to London, do a night or 2 in London, and then up the road. That's my thinking. But chat mind, I'm thinking about I'm trying to think of, like, am I missing a trick? Is there any distilleries there that I'm missing? Glengarry, I think he would like for the flow malting. And so it's not too far. So you could do that, a couple of hours drive there and back from Speyside. But then you're away over, you're on Aberdeenshire now. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to logistically work it out. So that's my thing. Daphmill would be perfect. Because I think him and Francis would actually get on quite well. Like, really well. Coming at it from a very kind of singular mindset. 2 very strong characters that are just like great people. But it's getting to Daft. I'm trying to work logistics. So I would love to know your thoughts tonight, guys, on that. I'm going to be emailing him tomorrow with here's my thoughts. And I'm going to help him out do it. And when he comes over, I'd love to have a few drinks and maybe see if he can bring a couple of bottles over, because you can't get stuff over here, and have a small group of people maybe meet up and chat whiskey with him. So see. We go through the chat here, guys. Let's see. Dig the lighting. Thank you. The lighting is The lighting on the camera, it looks quite different to in here, but I try. I'm terrible. My lighting changes all the time. So if you watch my actual YouTube videos, I was at the whiskey video and photography show a couple of weeks ago and went to one of the lighting stands, a company called Amaran, and spoke to them and was like, can you just help me fix my lighting? I just want a simple, easy, consistent setup. But for now, it's a mismatch of many lights. I don't know if there is one next year. I don't think it's been announced. Might be wrong. Because it was kind of built off the back of the film. But I would love it to be. Craig, feel sorry for the distilleries in the US. There's that. They are taking or going to take a hit of tariffs. Canada seems to be resoluting taking the bourbon off the shelves. Yeah, and I don't blame Canada for doing what they're doing. They're in a really bad position for what they're getting put into. So they've got to show some form of strength. But it'll be an interesting one. Especially, it's not just Canada, it's Mexico as well. Bourbon goes both ways. And then for Americans, tequila and Canadian whiskey coming down. Like, it's a really interesting time, and I wonder if there'll be an opportunity where we'll start to see some good Canadian whiskey make its way over here. Because like Whiskey in the Six and stuff, some of the Canadian whiskies that they've been talking about, I'd love to try. You just don't get the opportunity. And I've even got mates that, like, a mate of mine works in business wise, travels to Vancouver and stuff and Toronto, and he struggles to pick up any decent whiskey. So it's just fodder normally. So I wonder if that's an opportunity for them, but they're going to suffer. They're all going to suffer with this. Mike, so you're a Brit abroad, Brits abroad, but yeah, the American willingness to drive, it never ever shocks me. Is it cheaper to fly or drive where you are? For me, well, I'm in London, so it's easier to fly up and hire a car and drive, but I can drive up. And we did that last summer. We drove up and stopped off up the way and stuff. But the cheat code, I've told people, the cheat code is just fly either Aberdeen or depending on where you want to start off, fly Aberdeen or Inverness from London and just hire a car there. And then if you want, you can make your way down to Glasgow and drop the car off there and then fly back to London. Just miss out driving the whole country. No need. Don't hire a car, drive a motorcycle. Saves you from buying too much whiskey as well. Yeah, no. I'll no. Don't know how I'd manage to fit the dog and the baby and the wife on the motorcycle. I'd need the wee sidecar as well. And that would just be all bottles at our feet. Although Open makes... Could you guy, thank you for joining as well. Evening. Open makes complete sense. Stopping between. I've been there half dozen times. I'm deeply disappointed with the last time I stopped in the distillery. Yeah, it's not so much stopping in the distillery. I'm just thinking from, like, I don't know who he's coming with, if he's coming with his partner or whatever. It's just a lovely town. Lovely bit. And then if they want to go off the beaten track, they can get the boat over, you know, to Mull and stuff. So it was more thinking of that, but Fort William as well. I've never actually been to Fort William. I've only seen videos of it, so I was just kind of like, oh, I wonder where I would recommend in that sense. But yes, I absolutely agree. Mike's recommend Aaron if can. That's it. So I'm trying to build an itinerary that's got enough flex in it. I'm going to send it over to him. I've already got the spreadsheet made as like a rough skeleton deck dry. Like, you can do this, this, and this, and this is the way you would drive. I've Google mapped it and looked and went, that's achievable. Because I was thinking, oh well, you could hop, skip, and jump places without the need of a car. You could maybe get a driver, but then I started thinking about like suitcase, 2 people's suitcases and that, and I'm like, it's not like you can go to Campbelltown and you could fly back to Glasgow or Islay and fly back to Glasgow, but you're going to be able to take your suitcases, like big suitcases. I don't think you would. But David's an ex-consultant. for I think Toyota. He knows how to travel, so I'm intrigued to know. Peterhead Oban is a decent stop, nice place. It's silly once that's enough. Yeah, the town, so you can take the ferry. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. If the idea that you can get in and get some of the good stuff on the shelves now, and the opportunity exists, and it's tough because it's a bit of catch-22, isn't it? Distilleries, are they going to really push the boat out? Are they going to really make an effort for it without knowing the cash? Is the cash going to be there for them? But I think the patriotism and the nationalism that's came out of this for Canada. Canada's been, correct me if I'm wrong, but Canada's been quite fragmented for a while. There's a lot going on there politically, and it feels like this has unified them. Yeah, Ben Romack was one of them. It's just, I'm just trying to figure out the best course for them. But absolutely, Ben Romack would be a great shout, because they've still got the craft sensibilities as well. That's what I'm trying to think. It's like, where would be interesting? Where can we, and also who can I reach out to and help facilitate some of this for them? Because I know quite a few people at different distilleries now that I've met through whiskey shows and tastings, and so I would feel comfortable pinging them a wee DM on Instagram or that and saying, like, can you help? Ardna Merkin was the one that sprung to mind. It's just, it's an absolute fucking ball ache to get away from, but beautiful, worth it, but it's a commitment. So I'm just trying to see it. Am I right in the thinking or not? Next dram, guys, we're going to continue the bourbon tip purely from a proof point of view, and then we're going to go back to you Scotch. We're going to go a wee Weller 12. Gotta love a screw cap. Cheers. That's exactly it, Mike. I'm trying to think from the perspective of, yeah, he loves his whiskey and whatever, but it's a holiday as well. And you want to show the best of Scotland, and I thought that the drive up from Glasgow up is lovely, and it changes and whatever. But you go through Aviemore, and you could do Dalwhinnie, you could do that. But I'm like, you don't get the time. Why not just bypass everywhere and then make your way down and come down the west coast, rather than go round kind of east? And my thinking is, you can go Glencoe, Fort William, if you go to Undermark, whatever, but then you got the islands, and there's so much. And then I'm like, oh, maybe there's no time for Islay. But then I'm like, but if you come to Scotland and you're a distiller and that, surely you're going to want to go to Islay. I don't know. So I'm going to send them a list of things, and then I'm going to try and tighten it when I get more feedback for them. Or maybe I'll send them a list and go, that's great, I'll plan it myself. Like, no skin off my nose, but I like planning stuff. I like doing that. The way he did England, yeah, no, that's why he's going to just fly past it all. Right. Buy a bottle at the Lakes Distillery. What's going on there? I know that Nye Timber bought them, and now they've announced another new bottle coming out, but it just feels a bit cowboy, doesn't it? I'm not sure what the ambition is. Can you get, but I don't know his timing. So I picked timing wise. He did say he doesn't want to go, probably very similar to a lot of us in the chat, doesn't want to go when it's peak tourist season. But also I don't want to say I will go in November, because rough, or January, February. But maybe I would probably say go Feb, March, but then you're taking a dice with the weather and the roads and stuff. So I've kind of planned it with the mindset of this would be like late September, early October, because I think that's Scotland's perfect in that weather. Like autumnal's coming in, the colours are everywhere. It's just beautiful. But maybe not. That might not be the time he wants to go. So it's more, I've been looking at when ferries are running, and a lot of the ferries stop at the end of September. Drive down from Oban to Kennaicraig, then Isla, then back to Campbelltown, drive up to Talbot, take Cow Ferry and Viaden. Yeah, there we go. See stuff like that. Yeah, Dunoon's great as well. It's just as if the ferries are running. It's Scotland we're talking about. Like, the transport's a nightmare. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you for watching. Definitely come back. Follow me on @Drinkswhisky on Instagram, and I normally post on stories there when I'm going live. But it's most Saturdays. Most of the guys and everybody that joins the chat just kind of finds a way. You know, they just check 9:45 UK time. I'm alive. 9:45, 9:50. Technical difficulties. If it's not on by 10 o'clock, it's not happening. So if you don't see me by 10 o'clock, but I appreciate you watching and tuning in. Enjoy your dinner. I know you'd appreciate it, Craig. I actually found another bottle of it on the shelf. I was looking, and I'd got one in a box that I'd got in France, and then I looked behind it 2 days ago, and there's another bottle behind it, and I was like, I thought that was this one. So there's plenty on tap here. Just, if you can get it cheap when you're in France, you just put your arms around it, bring it back, stick it in the shelf. But it started popping up. In the UK, and it's coming, and it should be coming around about the same price as what it is in France. So might not have to stockpile anymore. Yeah, I know they have, and the ambition was there, and they started well, and then they just started churning out all those, I don't know, was it the Whiskey Maker series? Just the never-ending limited releases, and you're looking at it going, you're just doing this, where's your revenue? What are you stockpiling? Like, where are you building up your stocks? And then obviously they got bought out. Michael, I have a town in Orkney. Where was that? Where was that comment? Disappeared. I have a town in Orkney about half a mile away from Highland Park Distillery with my last name. Have you been? Surely you've been. Was that the Lakes? Probably the last distillery to get in as a founder member. 600 quid. Now it's outrageous the amount new distilleries are asking for. Yeah, it's. That's why I was mentioning that Buffalo Trace barrel offering, like, and what these distilleries, well, all the new ones you're taking a punt on, are they going to survive? Are they going to make it? So you're kind of punting on it. I've seen that Thompson Brothers, so the Strewery distillery that they're building, they've launched a crowdfunder for, but they've been plastered all over it. Don't invest unless you're willing to lose all your money. Like, they've been nothing but honest. They're like, look, this could go tits up. So we're telling you up front, like, put your money in, trust us with it, we'll try our best, but things can happen and you can lose your money. Whereas a lot of these other distilleries are kind of like, yeah, get this exclusive money, and or you pay this and you can get these exclusive opportunities and blah blah blah, and you're like, who are you? But who, like, what? Like, a lot of people are going to be, there's going to be a lot of angry people in the next few years who are going to be very poor from the money that they've put in, and the returns that just don't exist. Not on the Thompson Brothers, but in the whiskey space and barrels and stuff like that. Yeah, that's it. They are trying to crowdsource. I think they'll be okay. And it isn't the best time to open a new distillery, but I think the reputation they've managed to build up, and I think the spirit that comes out of the garage in Dornoch, and you're going to get to try it, and you're going to be I think, Mike, I don't know what your opinion is on the Thompson Brothers. You're obviously staying at Dornoch Castle Hotel. If you're not a fanboy, you'll leave a fanboy. I don't doubt it. I think they're just good people with a proper passion for the whiskey, and it comes across in what they do. And I'm a fanboy. I buy people. I buy into people. I trust what they're doing. I've had a couple bottles that they've bottled that just aren't my palate. They're no dodgy. I've never had anything bad, so to speak, from them. I think they're single cast. I think their actual spirit themselves, like I was saying about independent spirit, the spirit of Birmingham. Dornoch tastes like Dornoch, and so if they can replicate something of the same mindset at the bigger distillery, in a beautiful part of the world where whiskey tourism, as you're about to do, exists, then they'll be okay, because that's their USP. You know, like that they've built they've went all in on it. They've got the Castle Hotel, they've got the distillery, they've got the micro distillery. They'll have the new distillery, they have the micro distillery, and they have the independent bottling part of it. And it's a wee kind of Thompson Brothers MCU style universe. They'll be fine. They've got Glenmorangie down the road from them. They've got Broder above them. They've got enough. Loch Ness is down the road, and they should be okay. That's their USP. It's the other ones I worry about, that you're just like, okay, you're making a distillery, cool. Who are you? Oh, you're equity bankers, or it's private capital. Pardon me? Cool. Right, cool. No, I haven't been. I might go this year, but I live in New York City and everything with planes and Trumps. I know, mate. It's tough. It is tough. The dollar, we were chatting about it earlier. I don't know if you were on the stream earlier, but I appreciate the dollar's not doing great against the pound where it used to be. I was looking at going to Kentucky for the Bourbon Festival in September, and I could get good flights cheap with points and fly like business class and stuff using a voucher. And I was like, I can bring back loads of bourbon, I can have a great time in that. And I just don't know if it's the time to go. And my friend that lives in LA, he was going to meet me there. He was absolutely down for that, because I've got him involved. He was over in London last year, and I got him to bring me a bottle of Dicko single barrel, and he's not a big whiskey guy, and I've converted him, and now he loves it, and he's into his whiskey. So he's like, yeah. He's now messaging me being like, how about I come and visit you the end of August rather than you come over here? So I was like, is it that bad? And he's like, it's that bad. And that's not even talking the politics of it. He's just like, this is not a good time. And as a citizen, of a non-American citizen going to America, it's terrifying what's happening at the border at the moment. So I don't blame you, mate. Maybe go up, I was going to get a cheap flight from Canada, just up the road. How was were they there last week? Were they present at the Independent, and did they have some of their own stuff? It's just, you have to, it's a nightmare, to be honest. So we were looking at going back up to Scotland, not next week, the week after. And weirdly, the timings, my cousin that lives in Dubai is coming over with his wife. Well, he works offshore in Aberdeen, his wife lives in Dubai. They're coming over that same weekend. They're going to stay at my mum's. So I looked and we were like, oh, we can get an Airbnb, or we can get a hotel, an apartment, and that. Like 3 nights in Glasgow, 2 weekends time. You're looking at like close to £600, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to pay £600 to stay in Glasgow. for 3 nighs. Like, and then I looked, oh, maybe we could go further north, up to Aviemore or somewhere, and it's like 130, 140 pound a night. And I'm just like, oh, it's so expensive. So I feel your pain. I really do. I don't think it's very fair. I don't think it's sustainable. It's not as bad as Ireland. That's all. That's my only saving grace. Irish prices are insane, but Craig saying the Thompson brothers must be an exception to the rest. I would feel happy investing in going off the whiskey and the reputation. Exactly, and I think that's a big part of it. I think that is the reputation holds strong. So it's, I'd put money, if I had the money, I'd put the money in it, to be fair. I can't say, Mike, I can't say I know much about it at all. I'll need to have a wee look into that. No, I've not. I don't know if it was a Highland Park. I tried a stout cask at the Melody Whiskey Bar, which will be on Drams on the Run, because I've got content from there, in London. I'm just not beer cask. I can't do it. Stout, IPA, whatever. The Thompson Brothers I've not enjoyed. I've been beer cask, because I just don't like. It just doesn't agree with me. It tastes like beer, and like, I get it, but if I want a beer, I'll just have a beer. I don't want to be drinking something at 50, 60%, up to 60% proof that tastes like beer. It's just mash. Not into it at all. Yeah, I love the decadent drink stuff as well. It's a cost. It's no cheap. For the bottles. So normally when I try it, it's either a dram at a show, in a bar, or it's at like someone's opening a bottle and offering a split. The pricing is quite high, but I think that keeps the quality level. I think they buy good casks. I think maybe they've been a wee bit unfortunate and overpaid with a few of them. And you've seen that in the market, and you've seen the battles and the back chat from people and all that kind of stuff around pricing and releases and signatory 100 and all this, and I'm not going to get into that tonight, but it's good stuff. It's good juice. They know what they're doing. Let me pull up that one. Try to recreate an older style of whiskey. Hold on around long enough to try it. I'm sure you will be, Mike. I'm sure you will be. They weren't there. Okay, I wonder what happened there. Maybe it was logistics, whatever. I'm not going to speculate, but I think there was plenty of other stuff, wasn't there, that managed to keep you going. I wonder if it's maybe because surely they see themselves as an independent bottler, though. That's a strange one. And maybe they're just too busy with everything that's going on, trying to crowdfund, because I've seen them on a few podcasts and stuff as well, and they were on Roy's Aquaviti one. I've not had time to watch it yet. I'm saving it. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Martin's, no, I've not tried it. But that I've tried the Rassy stuff that's came out since. Not that one. Yeah, they always do. They always do, don't they? They always bring great stuff. I assume Julie dishing it out as well. Because that's I chatted to her when she comes to London with this stuff. Was that a Bowmore? I tried the Bowmore last year. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, I was thinking going to drive up to Canada, Montreal, leave my car and then go to Iceland. Oh, take a flight into Kirkwall Airport. Yeah, why not, mate? Like, why not? Do it. I was watching a video came on my feed today on YouTube, and I was walking the dog. Never heard of the guy. Usual YouTuber, 350,000 subscribers. British, but like an ultra athlete, like marathon runner, cyclist, whatever. I don't know because I've never watched any stuff. But his thing was basically a lot of views on this video, and I was like, oh, what's this about? And it was like he moved out the city, moved out of like suburbia, and just bought land. Well, not land, but like a farmy type countryside house with his wife and his 3 dogs. But one of the dogs died before they moved to the house, and he was very honest. He was like, of the 3 dogs, it was probably the dog that I was the least closest to. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. He goes, but I just wish we'd moved sooner because he would have loved it. Would have loved it. And he's like, it's the usual. People say it all the time. Oh, you've only got one life. You've only got a short time, whatever. But it kind of hit home, him just saying that. Probably because I was walking my dog at the time. But life's for living. Just do it. You want to take that flight into Kirkwall Airport? Well, do it. Book it. If you don't have the money, find the money. And that's easier said than done. That's very crappy podcaster style. Oh, you just need to believe it, motivate it, and you'll find the money. I get the world doesn't work that way, but that'd be brilliant. Imagine just going into Iceland. Iceland's great as well. I remember flying that to New York from Glasgow via Iceland, and they emailed us a couple of days before. Now I'm talking, this is again 20 years ago this happened. This was actually how I went to America 20 years ago, flying into New York for the first time. And they emailed us a couple of days before the flight and just said, bring your swimming clothes, swimming like costume or trunks or shorts, and bring a towel, because we'll go to, on the transfer there's a 5.5 hour layover, we'll take you to the Blue Lagoon and you'll get to go in the hot springs and stuff. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Evening, Codger, welcome. Oh, don't apologise, mate. You're always welcome whenever you're here. My own fault for no publicising the stream. Own worst enemy. Craig, I do have one, and it was when I started it, I was keeping track of it. I was doing well, but it's just everything in it. I'd need to start a proper one. A couple of guys in my whiskey group, they do them, and they do phenomenal ones. And it's like a treat every year. Like, it sends out these samples, and people love them. Because he loves his sherry, so it's like the ultimate sherry bomb he makes and stuff. But it's just too good. It's too good. Well, now the party's got here, Codger, now that you're here, put you up, now that you're here, and I know that you're saying, don't you worry, I'm going to come up. Mike said, Julie, one of the best ambassadors in the circuit. Yes, she's fantastic. She poured Peathead I'm going to butcher this, Cappadonic and a Tininic 13-year-old. 30 and 30, like, you know. And it was, I bet you it was amazing. On the Cotswolds, perfect. Well, I am going to crack open something that everybody's been telling me is fantastic, which is this bourbon cask, the latest bourbon cask from Kilkerran. And don't worry, got a clean glass. I'm not putting it in the bourbon glass. I'm opening it now on stream. I was going to open it last night and I thought, I'll hold off. And I'm not going to, my opinion on it, take with a touch of salt, obviously, because it's a fresh bottle pop. But I'll definitely, for me or no for me, be doing it. And the fact that I've opened it and gave it a bit of air. And the reason I want to do it that way is because of the Dram Face review of it, which we know who it is who reviewed it, but just that it gets better and better with time. And so I just want to give it a wee bit of time, a wee bit of air in the bottle, to really But I have, if I'm honest, I have tried it already. Tried it in the Whiskey Exchange, and it was lovely. And what I noticed was in the glass, it just kept getting better, like the nose. That's mad. It's so funny, isn't it? I say that all the time. See we're doing these Mark Stram madness videos. That's mad. I can smell like the farm. How weird's that? Love it. Leave that in the glass a wee second. Martin, is Bimber's price not too ridiculous? Yes, it is, but Bimber's struggling at the moment. There's been a lot of drama. A lot of drama over there. I don't want to say too much in case I end up like, but if you Google it, the fact of the drama that's happened there and people leaving and whatever, it's not in the best place. Fingers crossed for it, but I would not be surprised if a Diageo or someone swooped in and bought it. Because I think it's getting to that stage where they'll probably just want to offload it. Again, speculative. I don't know that for sure. I have no idea. Right, I have a bottle of it. I managed to get a bottle. It's in the house. I've not opened it yet. I thought about maybe bringing it down here for tonight, but know that it would be wasted on it. But I don't think I'm in the right. I want to open it and do it properly, and then be able to drink it. If that makes sense. So I'm kind of saving it for the content to an extent. But apparently, it's really like people have been getting really trying to flip it and stuff, which really shocked me because I just assumed it was just a drinker. Roger was on the Kilkerran 23 Sherry 8 last night. Awesomeness, yes. How did you find it? Was there not a 24 Sherry as well? Am I getting mixed up? No, there's Codger nothing. I've like again on the grapevine and what I've been hearing, talking to people and that, it's went very, very quiet, and that's why I wouldn't be surprised to see a sale, because the people responsible and the whiskey. I'm trying to be careful with my words here because I don't know enough, and I don't want to say something that can be misconstrued or held up as an example of me saying any of that. I'm comfortable talking about stuff that I know about. I mean, I don't know enough, no, but one would assume with the people that have left and people that are no longer there, that the whiskey experience to run that business isn't there, but they might have hired new people and it might be there. I would just look at it from a broad outsider point of view and say, probably try to punt it, get it off their hands, especially with the way the market is now and stuff. The London angle for Bimber would sell it more than the new distillery, in my mind, because I think they've got such a unique proposition here. Problem is, I don't think they have much stock. Right, you missed your shout out earlier on as well. Whiskey Amateur, lovely to have you in. There's been no horse racing. I've not got the energy at the moment. All my time's taken up by Mark Stram madness. The fact I'm still on at this stage, I'm clinging on. I feel like in the stream, you can just kind of see the bags under my eyes get bigger and bigger. But always welcome, mate. I hope you're keeping well. Let us know what's in the glass. Currently just poured the Kilkerran latest 8-year-old bourbon cask. So Kilkerran 8. What was the name of the distillery? Are we talking about the Bimber? Are we still talking about Bimber here? The Bimber distillery is, let me see. Is it done? It's not. Is that Bimber? Scotch distillery. Dunfail. It is Dunfail. So we'll need to wait and see. Let's cut your wolf loose, smashing cocktails, as you have every right to be doing. That, I'm going to hold it up just one last time. This is an absolute treat. So, Martins, this is what the... Look at that way. This one here. And it just opens up in the glass. This is why I need to give it more time before I do anything with it proper. Give you my thoughts, but... There's lots going on. There's lots. See these pauses? And the hands? And the noises? That's everything I edit out of these Markstrom Madness. Now my videos are like 5 minutes long when I put them out. Average on Markstrom Madness. The amount of time it takes me to edit those videos, because it's just a lot of that and a lot of just smelling and tasting. So I hope you appreciate that when it jump cuts and stuff, I'm not saying anything. There's literally nothing. I'm just trying to spare you guys having to listen to me smack my lips and my eyes rolling about. And Codger, I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Surprisingly, it's been really good fun. From a tasting point of view and recalibrating my palate and the pairings and how certain pairings just completely transform each other. And some of the shocks, like Rip Van Winkle 10 getting beat by Woven. Like, come on, what's going on there? But palette wise, that's where it was at. So I appreciate you watching, really do. About to pour a glass of the Berry Brothers Craig Ellicky matured in Margot wine. Fantastic. I've got again on the Drams on the Run coming up. Is it that one? Yeah. I'm in two minds. So I've got a whole West London Drams on the Run. And I say West London up to Green Park. But I was like, do I keep that and make a whole London series? But then it's like, well, will I ever get round to it? And it'll be so out of date by the time I do. But I went to Berry Brothers and read the new whiskey bit. So the last time I was in there, the whiskey was just like this shelf amongst everything. And now they have like a separate store just for the whiskey. And I got chatting to one of the guys in there and it was fantastic. Got to try a few things. Really, really kind. I think it has, and it needed the time. There's been a few dodgy batches of the Kilkerran 8 as well, though. I will say that. But I think the latest one, this stands up really well. I also think there's just not enough good bourbon cask whiskey. The week's been about surviving, mate, to be honest, between work and getting Markstrom Madness through. So I'm enjoying this evening, just kicking back and having a few drams with you lot. It's been really good. Yeah, way to go, Super Blend. Yeah, super, like, I think Woven splits opinion amongst people. I've noticed that. And you're also asking if I'm going to the event in a couple of weeks. No, I'm not. But back to this, it's the Super Blend is such a really good dram to kick off with from Woven, because I think it encompasses what they're trying to do. There's so much going on in it, and Pete, the master blender, he does it in such a way that but it's woven in. You can if you're good at whiskey, and I say good, I mean like if you've got a good palate and nose on you, and you can unpick stuff and find stuff, you're in for a treat. But I also think if you're not good at whiskey, you're new to whiskey, or you don't really care, you'll still enjoy what you can do with it. And I know they're pushing highballs and stuff like that, so it's really intriguing to see that. And as I mentioned, well, Codge on Whiskey Amateur, I don't think you guys were on. I tried the latest one coming out at the Croydon show. Maybe you tried it as well, because I know you were there. The English blended whiskey woven, brilliant, just brilliant. So I think what they're doing is fantastic. I'm a big fan. I like Pete. It's I'll support them forevermore. Fraser, even though just in for my gig, mate, more than welcome. I see Pete Head's already told you what you need to do, but you're more than welcome to have joined. What gig were you at? Got a hemisphere lined up for my next try. I've got the hemisphere on the shelf over there, but I'm going to stick with this Cool Karen. Mike, always a pleasure. Enjoy. Hopefully speak to you beforehand, but if not, enjoy Broda when it comes. It was bizarre. It literally, I was like, what the hell? So jammy. Really good, really good. If you've got the Kilkerran 8 bourbon and you've already opened it, you'll know this. If you've got it and you've not opened it, put it in a glass, smell it, and then just leave it for a while, because the nose develops on it and it just keeps getting better and better. It's fantastic. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I could think, genuinely jealous of that. I used to live above McSorley's, right on the top floor, and the building that when you get in, it's at the side towards the railway bridge. You go in and it had the old style metal, my elevator. I loved it. The elevator, you had to pull the metal grate across, but like the kind of trellising style, pull it across up to the top floor, and then you could go out onto the, it wasn't a balcony, but you could go up onto the rooftop, sit on a sunny day and have a wee barbecue right up the top above McSorley's. God, that was, you're talking 20s, getting old, like 15, no, more than 15, 18 years ago, that be right? No, 16 years, maybe 15. Long time ago, but I'm glad it's still opened, because I know it closed down for a while. How was the band? Were they good? Let's see. Fantastic. I feel like I've definitely saved the best till last this evening. This is lovely, but still in keeping, you know, from Middleton Very Rare to the Balcones American single malt onto a bourbon, and then over to a bourbon cask. Right, I've still got some, thankfully my prep is coming in handy here. Martins, as I was saying, tasting notes on this, I'm not going to offer up much, because I think it needs more time, and plus with my palate, with what I've been having, it's funky on the nose, but it's sweet, and by sweetness I mean like vanilla-y, but very gentle kind of vanilla, like vanilla ice cream gentle. And then the peat's there, but it's very kind of farmy, not medicinal, not smoky, not like overly smoky. It's more medicinal peat, more farmy peat, like almost like Cohoman peat, if you know what I mean. That's just on the nose. I'm not going to be able to pick out much on the palate for you that's going to be useful at this stage. It's just very nice. That's where I'm at. That's why the March Dram Madness videos have been such an experience, because I'm having to come in and try and talk on the fly live. I do no prep, and so the edits are me spending a lot of time kind of concentrating and trying to think and looking anywhere but the camera, because I'm trying to just like focus on the flavour. It's just really nice. If you like Kilkerran, you'll adore that. I think that's the safest way of saying it. Got a wee bit of water that I'm going to add in. I've noticed that on the doing the March Dram Madness, sometimes I use water, sometimes I don't. One coming up, I have to use water because I feel like compared to what I'm up against, the whiskey felt very tight. Like, the only way I could describe it was like a clenched fist. Even smelling it, it just was offering very little. It felt very tight. And then I added the tiniest bit of water to it, and it was just like, and I was like, there we go. And I'm guilty of it, and I'm sure some of you guys are. I've never added water to my whiskey. But the difference it makes, even on that, unbelievable. I'm getting a lot of cigar smoke. It reminds me of a cigar. Oh, wee bit of water in that. The fruit that comes out. A pack of opal fruits, Starburst. I've still not, no, Big Dunk. Yeah, it could be. Just don't want him going to the jail. Let me come up, see if I've missed it up here. Codger, how is that even a thing? How have you never been to Glasgow? I'm assuming that's what you mean by Ouija Land. Need to sort that. Get that sorted. Tickets go on sale for the Glasgow Whisky Festival in May, first week of May. Is it? Or is it April? I think it's May. But folk in this group, folk in other groups, you'll get, if you need a ticket, you'll get a ticket. What about that? I have a bottle of the 2024 Thomas H. Handy to open, the BTAC bottle. I'm excited for that. Because it's a rye, I believe. And I'm not huge in my rye, so I'm quite excited to see how that goes. I've got the local barley, like latest local barley to open. I'm on the fence about opening it. And I did say this a couple of weeks ago, and full transparency, it's because some people love it and some people absolutely hate it. And I don't want to open a bottle of whiskey that's going to sit on the bar. Because, like, if you watch the latest video, the Glenmorangie versus the Scapegrace, I really don't like the Scapegrace anymore. I loved it, and now it's just changed completely after opening it. Like, giving it a few days, like, changed so much. Well, the nose was just so unpleasant. I'll go back to it and I'll try again, but I've got a couple of bottles like that where I'm just like, oh, I can't deal with this. So I do want to open that, but kind of a bit dread. I've been looking forward to opening this Kilkerran. Delighted to open that tonight. I've got the Long Row 100 to open. Looking forward to opening that. I also have, I've got a couple of Thompson Brothers single casts to open. It's just finding the time and the place, to be honest. What about yourself? What are you sitting with? And this applies to everybody. What are you sitting with that you've been dying to open and you need a reason? Because I'm giving you the reason now. Open it. Open something that you've been looking forward to. I've just done it with the Kilkerran. It's a delight. I'm happy. Special occasion is sharing my experience with you guys of drinking it. Does that count for your special bottle? Does it matter? As I said, for my old colleague that passed away, as we did that one, the wee cheers to him. Like, you never know. No age at all. What's around the corner? And Fraser, that's what we were talking about earlier. It seems like it was an absolute stellar festival. And you know, yeah, the way like you have to pull it across and whatever. Delighted that the band were great. AC/DC. My dad was never a rock guy, so my dad was a DJ all grown up. I had a young dad, and I say he had a young dad. He's still alive. He's but I don't know. But he was down here visiting. He was helping me with here. We were doing the decking and stuff outside, and he's like, "Oh, I'll put this video on YouTube." We're having a beer, and it was AC/DC at River Plate doing Thunderstruck, which is a phenomenal video. If you've not seen it, watch it after this stream. Brilliant. And I'm looking at my dad going like, when are you into AC/DC? And him and my mum are separated, God, a long time. And I told my mum, and my mum was like, Mum knew my dad since he was 16. She's like, AC/DC? I was like, oh, brilliant. And I know they're doing the UK tour and stuff, but the price of the tickets, disgusting, man. But maybe take my own advice and just do it. I've got that Glen Murray private cask that I'm waiting until I've cleared a few more bottles. Yeah, that'll be brilliant. I was saying that earlier. It's such a great distillery. The value you can get up there. The whiskey enthusiast is based in Turkey. He was up with his whiskey group from Turkey. They went there and they just like the amount of bottles they could get for the money. Unbelievable. You've got the Never Say Die rye. Send me a sample if you want. I'm not the biggest rye fan either, but it's nice in cocktails. Yeah, yes, you can send me. I don't know if that's a glowing endorsement about the rye. You can send me some, but it's nice in a cocktail. But yes, no, I'd love to try, mate. Would love to. Craig, we go through this every time. Every time. I've got two sitting there. I've got two Weller 107s sitting there that are just waiting for the right time. With the current state of play over in the States, probably be when my mate comes over from the States, maybe before, but they're definitely getting opened. But I'll get through that first. The 12. It's more just balance. There's no holding them back from opening because I don't want to open them. It's more just I find when I open something new, I then fixate on that, and then everything else gets forgotten about. So I'm trying to just clear the decks, make more space. Because I don't know if you can see over there. There shouldn't be any bottles there. They're literally the edge of that cabinet, and they just keep. So I need to clear more space. And it's like a red ahead. Peathead. When I'm doing self-imposed moratorium and opening new bottles. God, 200 open, 100 sealed. Yeah, you're reinforcing everything I've just been saying. Like, I went through that phase as well of like having so much opened and feeling like I'm missing out so much. And then I've now just kind of went the opposite way of being like, nope. I'll open it when I need to. That's why for me or no for me is involved as well, because I'm like, I need to start clearing the decks, and if something's not for me and I've got a bottle of it and there's still tons in it, I'll just give it to a mate. I'll just get it out of the house. St. Patrick's was just here. Opened up 3 bottles, Irish, 1 power dry, 160 and 1 hint small batch bourbon cask. Which did you prefer? I'm intrigued to know. of those three. So we were talking about that Irish whiskey's massive export out to you, like out to the States, out to North America, and with the tariffs coming in and stuff, there's a lot of stress on that. I like my Irish whiskey. I like my spots. I really do. I know I've kind of discredited the Middleton one the night, where I've just not really been impressed with it. On the nose, great. I like my Redbreast. I'm not the biggest. I'm not a Redbreast fanboy. I don't jump on the bandwagon that a lot of people do, and that's great. It's lovely. I like it, but I'm not actively seeking it out. I'm not buying bottles of it. Spot, I will. I've got all the spots. Blue spot, love. I've got a red spot there. I've got a yellow spot. I've got the full Infinity Stones of the regular releases, but I don't buy much else Irish whiskey, to be honest. I had a Powers St John Lane that I got on a mad deal on Amazon ages ago. Loved that. I didn't mind the Tailing rum cask small batch. They're what's it called? It's a black bottle Tailing. It's the only black bottle they do. It'll come to me, but that's lovely. Very peaty, barbecuey. A bit like burnt ends, pulled like pork burnt ends or rib burnt ends. Looking forward to the 1986 Thompson Brothers. Can't open it yet. I've purchased it, but I need to pick it up in the store in April. Which reminds me, I've got the 1986. Let's see. I think it's that one, maybe. The funky label. Yeah, I was right. It gets better with time. Gets really good. On first opening, you might be a little bit underwhelmed because you're expecting something, but then once you have it open, it just gets better with time. It's a great, very delicate dram, and by that I mean like it can be very quickly lost if you're having other stuff with it and you're jumping between them, whatever. So I recommend it if once you open it and you're having it with friends or yourself or whatever, have it as an opening dram, log it, remember what it was like, and then leave it, and then come back to it a couple of weeks later, and you'll be blown away. Cordial life advice here. AC/DC tickets far too expensive. Spark up a doobie, grab a dram, and put a live recording on. And think of the trip to Kentucky you can have with the money saved. Exactly, mate. Exactly. That's it. Exactly. Don't think I'll get away with sparking up, but the rest of it, absolutely. I'm laughing at it's not the buying, it's the current wife. It's not impressed. Well, maybe the next one will be. Maybe that's how you'll meet her. Maybe she'll be like, oh my god, you got so many full bottles. No, I mean, it's 2 decanters which she got for Christmas gifts. I rarely just give them bottles that aren't to my taste. Yeah, like, I've got one of my friends, we support opposite football teams from Glasgow. And we met through work, and he obviously supports the opposite team. So every year we do when my team wins the league, I'll buy you'll buy me a bottle, vice versa. And so it's pretty obvious to work it with team I support, because I'm having to buy him another bottle this year, and that's the 3rd bottle in a row. So the first year I got him the Chegg Sinclair series wine cask, and then last year we were in Dortmund for the Euro semi-final, and I took it out with me. It was the Tesco bottle, Thompson Brothers. So I don't buy them crap, but I should maybe try and like palm some stuff off to him. I don't know if he'll take a half-open bottle of Middleton, but maybe I can get him something else. That's it. Black Pits. I knew it was something Pits. I could see it. The white writing. Really enjoyable. Island Summon. Gravediggers for Guinness. Caudle, which is the best Irish whiskey. I go Spot. I love the blue Spot. When you're there, Craig, my Irish recommendations, I'm dying to do did I do one? No, I never. I did a brief. I've got a tiny Irish whiskey video It's not even a proper one. I've been dying to do one. But pints and places to go. Craig, hit me up on Instagram and I'll let you know. Temple Bar's a rip-off. Get to the Palace Bar. It's amazing. Especially the whiskey bar. But a little bit right next to there, Bose, across the road. Not Temple Bar, but you cross the road in the lane. Best pint of Guinness you'll have. It'll be better than Gravediggers, because we went to Gravediggers afterwards. Brilliant. And yeah, save yourself a taxi fare. Gravediggers is great though, should still go. I'm glad you got that as well, Glenn. I'll need to check that out. I saw that Jim. Do you see that Jim was hanging out with the King this week? As you do, you know, whiskey royalty makes royalty with whiskey. Was delighted for him having a dram with old Charles and Camilla. Had to laugh. Had to laugh. Craig, honestly, you'll know like the Murphys though, because you're definitely bitter about that. You are bitter about that Green River. How are we doing for time, guys? It's normally I try and finish up at midnight, but we can maybe go. Shall we say 12:30 tonight? So we've spoke. I'm going through my list of things. We've spoke about the news. We've done the latest news. We've done highlights. Spoke about that. Independent Spirits in Edinburgh sounds great. Kilkerran, I've cracked open. Drams on the Run, spoke about. I think I said this before. The Black Lodge Ramblings, Drams on the Run, I love making them. I love making them far more than I love making these March Dram Madness videos, if I'm honest. The 31 days of video was a big undertaking. It was a big undertaking. It still is. It's not finished. But I think from the live stream and everything I'm trying to do, I would love to know what you guys enjoy. And I know that you just comment, you tell me that. I'm not doing it to big myself up. I just want to know, like, where would you like to see attention focused? I always think, like, the reason Drams on the Run and Black Lodge Ramblings work so well is because they're different to everything else. And I feel that the tasting videos they're no something that I bring something unique to, if I'm being honest. And I have imposter syndrome with it, because it's so subjective. And that's why I did the for me or no for me, because I don't feel the pressure of worrying. I'm just giving you what I'm experiencing. It's a very solitary, selfish mindset, but it's just me sat or stood drinking a whiskey and telling you if I like it or not, and that's it. Whereas the reviews, I feel like you can, the March Dram Madness, it's all palate based in it as well, but you can still kind of go like, oh, hold on, I wouldn't have picked that. Oh, so it's more that. Is there anything else I'm missing? Because I'm kind of, there's one I'm going to do that I'm quite keen on doing, but I just don't want to be gimmicky, if that makes sense. Don't want to chase people. I know that you guys wouldn't be chased away, but it's more, I don't want to alienate people watching the content and being like, why is he doing this now? Why is he doing that? So any feedback, any suggestions, more than welcome. Always welcome. You're partial to Drams on the Run. I appreciate that. Yeah, because the Drams on the Run, the reason I started that is because I enjoy watching like US content of bourbon hunts and stuff, and what we can't do is that, because we don't have that same scale of market. We don't have that many stores to go to. We don't have that distribution that the US has. But I wanted to make it about like everything else because I love the community of whiskey and I love the people of whiskey and I love all that. And I've got the podcast series that I'm trying to do, which is sit down on that. But then there's so many podcasts now, and I'm at the point of like, who's going to listen? Because I think the one I did with Marcos from North Star, I really enjoyed doing that. But it did all right. Didn't do as well as I wanted it to do, but it's trying to find the differentiation of like a very niche space that we're in. And there's only so many people watching whiskey content, so I'm always second guessing myself. Basically, I'm having an existential midlife crisis on a live stream right now. So, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, I was going to say, Petehead, you're not away yet, so still hanging on. There we go. Craig, that's it. Lefroy 10. I'm not going to get up because I'm just... What have I got to hand? Do I have anything exotic to hand? It's a wee bit different. I've only got gentle malts. Did you watch the video where I got invited to that? I was going to have it, but it's only 46%, and it is also the gentle dram. I don't know if after that Kilkerran, I'm going to do a wee second pour of the Kilkerran. Not too much. Well, I'll be going to Whiskey Live. No. It's my birthday on the Friday, and on the Saturday it's my mother-in-law's birthday, so that rules that out. And on the Sunday is Mother's Day, and I know it's not on Sunday, but it's just a weekend of stuff, so not a chance. I did look at the lineup, but appreciate that, keep it real, but it's more the so good lies are a favourite when I'm able to join. Black Lodge, Drams, London are great, but that's it. I try and make stuff that's a wee bit different, so then when I do the Black Lodge Rambling is going to talk about March Dram Madness in detail, and it's going to talk about, like, I hate to use the term Q1, but like the first 3 months of the year, and try to create content and the general vibe in whiskey and buying whiskey and try to keep fresh and make content and stuff, but also the hamster wheel of YouTube. And it's a wheel. It really is a wheel of trying to churn out enough content and hope that somebody will watch it. But you can't judge anything. Like some of the videos I've made where I think, yeah, banger, get no views, and it has chased people off the platform. Chased is maybe a hard word, but there's been a lot of good whiskey channels that have just disappeared because people are just like, I put so much effort in and I get nothing back because YouTube just won't push it out or won't try and help or whatever. So it can be disheartening. And so these live streams are like the top up. Talk about filling my cup. These motivate me. But I'm not here looking to try and get compliments. That's not what I'm asking. Do you know what? It's been in my, I was thinking about trying to do it for London. I've got something, so there is a project, and I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not just saying this because you say that. I'm working on a project just now because I'm close, not close enough, but I'm close to unlocking 3,000 watch hours on YouTube. And the reason that's such a pain in the ass is because it works on a hamster wheel, so it's always 365 days rolling. You've got to unlock the hours, and I feel like my Kentucky stuff's about to disappear off that, and I'm going to get pushed back again. And I've not been one for Patreon. I can't do the membership thing until I get the 3,000 hours, so I can't do that. I've got the Buy Me a Coffee, which I've had 3 people, very kind people, donate on. So I don't make any money out of this at all, but I was thinking the reason I don't do Patreon and stuff is because I don't feel like I can offer anything above and beyond, like what I have the time to create. But now I came up with a plan, and I thought, actually, there's something I could give Patreons, or I could give members. So I'm slowly working on it. It's in the line of what you're saying. It's not reviews, but it's something. It's something separate to that. Hence why the Drams on the Run is kind of being held back as well, the West London one and stuff, because I was like, do I make a Drams on the Run London where I hit everywhere? And it's going to be over a course of time because I can't do it in a day. But bear with me on that. I've already feel like I've said too much on it, but I've not. I had to scroll back up there to understand what you were talking about. Ben Holiday's there. Holiday, which is really good whiskey. That's the only reason I would go. Sad. It's such a strange. It's a good venue. I don't understand. I just don't understand what's going on with it. I don't know what they're charging brands. Because I remember went a couple of years ago. I've got a video of it up, and I was selective in my editing because I went on this rant about how shite it was for the people that were working there. It's mid every year. I'm not one to say please watch. See if you that's why. See what would be probably really useful. See if you just if you're going out, stuck in a playlist of some of the longer videos and just let them play. So you don't have to deal with watching the same content over and over again. But the watch time matters, and that's why so many. And also the the reason people always say like and subscribe and all that is subscriptions drive views because then you'll watch them. That's fine. But the likes push the content out to more people, and so that's useful. So the like, subscribe, comment is engagement. So they want us to do that, and so I try and reply to everybody's content. But you would have noticed if anybody's commented on the videos recently, which I know people have, I've not had the time. I've not had time to sit and really comment. So I end up doing batch comments to people. So then I might lose some engagement on that. It's a juggle. You're trying to work everything out. It seems like once you hit the 3,000, you get over 3,000 hours. If you drop under when stuff drops off, it sometimes can affect you. But you don't even get money. Like monetization doesn't come till 4,000 hours. So it gets trying. Like, so you I got so close and then last year life happened, and so I never made videos for a wee while, and I just dropped off. And I'm so close now. I'm currently at, tell you guys because you are on the stream, but I'm currently sitting at, the latest update is I'm at 2,696 public watch hours. So I'm 304 hours away from 3,000. And then the next step is 4,000 to unlock ads and that. And the irony is, there's ads and stuff. I assume there's ads and stuff in my video, which then punishes me for these long form videos. So unless you've got YouTube Premium, you're going to get interrupted with ads. I don't see it. I see nothing. I see none of that. Don't get a penny. And it's not about trying to make money. I'm not here to make the money. It's just that it unlocks opportunity to go to better places and do stuff and stuff like that. So I'm just plowing away, keeping it going, but it's a bit of a hamster wheel. It is a bit of a hamster wheel. Right, let's get these back up. Where are we? Right, you need to correct me here, Craig. What is the Wishaw one? Never had Still Austin, Codger. Not had that. And Glenn, I appreciate it. I really do. I know you do. And I need to come. There's comments that are there that I still need to come back to. I'm not ignoring anyone. It's just genuinely, I don't want it to just be like an emoji. I want to take the time to reply to people. I always find it hard when filming videos, to be honest, but not shoot people down. Yeah, I know what you mean, and I think correct me if I'm wrong here. I think what you're saying is you find it hard to shoot videos when you're on location, and then but also not be negative, which I try to do. That's going to be in the Black Lodge Rambling, because as I said, I've shot a Black Lodge Rambling this week, and I just feel like it's too doom and gloom, so I'm not going to put it out. Because I do call it out, and I don't like when people punch down. So when people are trying, I don't want to diminish anybody's attempts at something. I don't want to do anything. So like Whiskey Live next week, it's an easy target. And I'm like, but imagine if you've never been to a whiskey show before, and that's the first whiskey show you go to, and your mind's blown, and then we're all sitting here going, "Oh, it's a load of shite." That helps nobody. So that whole, if you've not got anything nice to say, just maybe not say anything. Just talk about something that you do enjoy. Which I try and do. I do try and do that. Yep, Free Ranch. Craig's a big fan of that. And I'm saying Craig's a big fan of that because you were in Vegas, weren't you? And you picked some up there. Is it Free Ranch Vegas? Is that right? It's a great dram, Glenn. Really good dram. I don't think it's controversial at all, Craig. I think it's some Ardbeg's really good, some shite, and some Lefroy's really good, and some shite. I love a Lefroy quarter cask, which isn't the most expensive at all, but just really, really nice. Evening, James. Yeah, no, we've decided to do a wee extended. We've only got 6 minutes left. Sadly, I'm going to call it a day at 12:30, but we've had a really nice wee chat this evening, so please do catch up on it at another time as well. By that, I mean, like, replay it. But always welcome to have you. Does that make sense? Is that the tiredness coming in? Always welcome to have you. Always happy to have you. Let's say that. I have some seaweed aeons. I do like what Master of Malt's tried with that. I really do. With those kind of going straight to flavour profiles for people. I think from a broad marketing point of view, great. You're trying to dig in on people and do it. But they're such a niche... they're a niche retailer that... Does that oversimplify it, therefore push people away or not? But like the snobby whiskey drinker might just, that's not for me. That's too basic. That call out. But I've heard nothing but good stuff about them. That's it. Be constructive. Like, that's why I do the for me or no for me, because it's more about like, this is why I like it. This is why I don't like it, but you might like it when I don't like it, you know, and you might not like it and I love it. No review, James. It's just, it's fresh bottle. On the nose is fantastic, but my palate's all over the place with the drams I've had tonight, the beer and stuff. I don't feel comfortable saying, oh, this is what I think of it, because I know tomorrow it'll be completely different. But it's great. It's really good. catching up in the chat. All good. Right, we've got 4 minutes left. I think I've ticked off. I've managed to like tick off all the points that I jotted down the night for tonight's stream. As I said, next week we are ideally going to be live on Saturday. I will update on Instagram if that changes, but expect us to be here. Whiskey Amateur off to bed. Mate, I'm not far behind you. Don't you worry. Have a wonderful evening. I've done it again. I've managed to like change the size of this. How weird is that? Let's fix that. There we go. Everyone, I hope you just had a lovely evening. If you're watching on catch up, appreciate you for watching the replay. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all the fun stuff, share with people that will enjoy it. People buy, believe it or not, people buy subscribers and buy likes and stuff, and the problem is I would rather have what I have and you guys engage rather than tons of numbers and very low engagement. I went off on a bit of a rant about that in the Black Lodge Rambling, hence why I'm not going to pull that out, because I ended up calling people out on it, and it goes against what I've just said, contradicts it. So we won't be talking about that. But aye, if you enjoy the content, guys, please let people know. I appreciate you guys tuning in. All your support, it's always welcome. Keeps the videos churning out, gives me a reason to do it. Hard mode, is that what that is? If it is, like Ardmore's a really good dram, especially when you don't know it's Ardmore. It's got such a bias against it. Cheers, Petehead. Till next time. Oh, going for a bells to a Springbank 10. God. Talk about shaking them up. I'm sure you will. Good whiskey's good whiskey. That's how you find the whiskey drinkers. Appreciate it, Glenn. Thank you. And then James is like, I think Stag will win March Madness. Well, I'm going to just say it like, I need to fix this. What's going on with this? Why is this moving about? Look, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know what's going to win it. There's a dram coming up, and I had a very weird reaction to it that kind of surprised me even when I'm editing it, and I'm like, wow, like very emotive. So that might go through, or it could be Woven, that seems to just be like being like England in a football tournament, just avoiding. Well, it's went head to head. It actually went up against a big dram, a couple of big drams, and it just went batted on my side. So maybe like Greece at the Euros, but you never know. You never know. And look, there's Glenn came in and he's like, for sort of Stag versus Woven in the final battle. Are they on the same side of the draw though? That's the question. Are they on the same side of the draw? I need to look it up. We don't know. We'll need to just wait and see. But it keeps just coming back for more, doesn't it? So, cheers, guys. Time's up. All the best. Appreciate you tuning in. And with that, I'm gonna try and press the button the right way. Where is it?
Hello there.